morning, lovely people. It is Wednesday, the 9th of November. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And as always, you have amazing hosts with you. I am one of them, your favourite shade queen, my own royalty.
Mr. Rotations, Big Man Use.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer, news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That is right, that is right. We do have a rebel here, but I think he's making a stance of sorts. But how's everyone doing this lovely morning? You get on my last damn nerves. You don't get an intro. You don't get to have an intro.
Sorry, I was on
You
time.
could have made it. No, you could have made the intro, but you just wanted to stand there.
There was a crash on the motorway and Brent didn't even hold the pause thing for me.
Yeah, because even after you came in and you paused yourself.
Because he pressed it when I walked in.
Okay, babes.
That was...
All right. Do you want to let people know who you are? I'm sure they know.
It's your boy, Big Moss from the east side of the bridge. Morning, people. Let's get it. Hey, yeah.
Do you know what? This is the problem. You encourage this. This is the problem. Look at that. You got Sue Janshi and all sorts.
I didn't even ask him anything.
How's everyone doing?
All good, man.
Yeah, good. I'm alright, you know.
Yeah?
Ready for the world.
Ready for the world?
Ready
wow,
for the
that's
world.
big. Did you get a good night's sleep?
Yeah, I did. I was sleeping from early. Probably from too early.
What was that? What's too early for you there? At 10 o'clock?
I probably think I would have fell asleep before 10. And because I woke up again about 1:30.
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then the rest of the night was shaky. But it's cool.
We move.
We survive, you know.
Good, that's good. I've had a good
Damn.
morning. So basically, right, I'm hoping what I say doesn't, my little story doesn't undo what the girls have been doing for the feminism movement. But, like, I'm here for equality, you know, people getting the same pay and all that kind of stuff. If you got the same qualifications, well, I'm not even looking at you anymore. If you've got the same qualifications and things of such nature, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
However, I can't lie. I love, like, being a damsel in distress. I love men helping me with certain things. I absolutely, like, I live for it. So this morning I had to go and, you know, pump my tyres or whatever. And one of the screw things, like, it's literally, I've tried like 5 times. And you know me, I'm not about to break a nail on a kind of a low pressure tyre.
Yeah.
No need for that. So I said to God, please just let a man come. And I said, you know what? All I need is a white van. You know the builders in the morning in the white vans? I was like, they will be able to handle it. And lo and behold,
White van came to your
a
rescue.
white van came to my rescue, and it was a black man and everything. And he helped me. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then I was doing one of them wrong. And then he peeped it from where he was pumping his, putting petrol in his car. And he helped me. I said, yeah, I can't like, I love this about being a woman.
Some of them white vans throw you in and then duck out.
Sorry?
Some of them white vans just throw you in and then they just move off.
Ben, what, my 5? I'm not. They ask if you want sweets first, don't they?
Ah, okay.
They have to lure you in. You can't just get me.
I think you have to be sensitive to the kidnap victims.
Listen, first of all, don't you dare. You are not.
Wow.
You are not the one to speak up for anybody's
I
rights.
hope you get cancelled today, bro.
I've taken
What is
sensitivity
going on
training.
here? No, you haven't. Because even when you were wrong yesterday, I wasn't going to bring this up, but since you brought it up,
What was I wrong about?
the whole trillion% fact. I'll be honest with
I'm
you,
right,
Iman.
though.
No, you're not. I don't want to hear Iman talk about facts anymore. And I don't want to, you're banned from saying the word facts. And you're banned from saying critical thinking. You're not allowed. This man sat here and looked me in the eye. So about ADL's not involved. They just got involved unprovoked, blah, blah. These times, they've got a whole partnership with NBA. Then I tell him that, then he comes, he tries to justify. I'm like, just accept it.
This is wrong information.
It's
people.
not.
I said the ADL has got nothing to do with NBA, nothing to do with basketball, sports, none of that. They're an external organisation that comes to the rescue. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just come to the rescue of Jewish people in different walks of life. They're not linked to NBA. I'm correct.
You forget I basically had a back and forth with you regarding their particular relationship.
All right.
And you said, no, they are not connected whatsoever.
Yes, because they're not connected to NBA and basketball. That's what I'm
I
saying.
was literally saying they have a partnership and you said no.
A trillion% fact, you said, to quote you.
Okay, cool. If we want to say that, maybe my facts wasn't up to date because obviously in the spirit.
When he did this, I thought
Wait.
I was wrong.
No.
That's the easiest thing
I can't
to
do that. Do you know why? Because in the spirit of transparency, they became partners last year.
Your facts should be up to. You
last
said a
year.
Do you know what it is to say 1,000,000,000% facts?
Yes.
You didn't say 100%. You didn't say 200%. You said 1,000,000,000,000.
Yes.
That's
A
a lot.
trillion%.
and
you
again-
did your
again.
finger like this.
That's a lot of aliens, man.
Again, yeah. People need to do their Googles, right, and
You
understand
need to
what.
do your Googles.
No,
What are you talking about?
no. You have to understand what the ADL is. Again, I'm still saying the same thing. ADL is not linked to NBA,
I'm of the mindset
basketball,
still that
or
it's a
nothing.
totally separate entity as
It's
well.
completely
What I'm
separate.
gonna say is anyway, yeah.
Who's saying they're not separate
But that's the point I
entities?
was making yesterday.
No, it wasn't.
Listen, it
It
started,
was.
It's young man.
I'm listening.
It started one way, and
Yeah.
let's just say we went along with what you're saying. You meant all the way through.
Yeah.
I jumped in to basically clarify what the conversation was going on, and I basically said they have a partnership, and you were saying no. Do you understand? So whether you're saying you can't remember that bit, you want me to clip it up?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Do you know why? Do you know why I'm saying that? Because maybe I was still thinking what I was saying
No, but
earlier,
critical
which is
thinking.
that they are no.
Critical thinking, bro.
That's gonna have to
you
do
can't,
that.
you can't still be in yesterday when we're in today.
No, all right, it doesn't matter. All I'm trying to say to you is it's very simple. Like Mark just said there, I was always saying they are an external organization. Nothing to do with NBA,
So,
nothing to do with basketball.
ADL, NBA, Mark, because you started this nonsense. You think everybody in the room didn't know they were two different organizations? Does that even make any sense? That
Exactly.
we thought it
No,
would be?
but you guys know what I'm trying
You're
to
sitting
say,
there,
though,
you
man.
started this, grinning.
You know what I'm trying to say. No, Mark, but you
Tell
know,
me,
Mark knows what I'm trying to
Did anybody in
say.
this room think they weren't two organizations?
But you can have many organizations
shouting
in
so much?
basketball.
This is ridiculous.
Whatever. Anyway, I just want to make a point that you were wrong, and that was that. You were wrong, and I even did a whole exhibit A, and someone else did an exhibit B. I don't know. I haven't checked the app. We might be up to the letter F, but big up everybody that came with the receipts to prove him man wrong. That is my favorite song. I'm here for it. Let's get.
I'm not wrong.
Am I doing the reading? So you.
He comes, he said, I can't do
What a
it.
joker. But your friend was clear to talk about it, to talk about you were right. Anyways, the Americans are basically voting in the midterm elections. Yesterday, people across the US have been casting votes in the midterm elections to determine who controls Congress. The outcome will have a major impact on the remaining 2 years of Joe Biden's presidency and beyond. For 2 years, both chambers, the House of Representatives and the Senate, have been controlled by Democrats. The Republicans are predicted to take the House while the battle for the Senate is on a knife edge and too close to call. But why is this important, guys? I will tell you why. These elections are for Congress, which is made up of two parts, the House of Representatives and the Senate. These votes are held every 2 years, and when they fall in the middle of the president's 4-year term of office, they are called the midterms. Congress makes nationwide laws. The House decides which laws are voted on, while the Senate can block or approve them, confirm appointments made by the president, and more rarely, conduct any investigations against him. Each state has 2 senators who sit for 6-year terms. Representatives serve for 2 years and represent smaller districts. All the seats in the House of Representatives are up for election in November, alongside 1/3 of the Senate. Several major states also have elections for their governor and local officials. The results are still coming in, and they are as follows.
Okay, so at the moment, the results are 48. When it comes to the Senate, there's 48 seats for the Democrats and 47 for the Republicans, and there's 35 of 100 seats up for election. And when it comes to the House, at the moment, there's 198 seats for the Republicans and 173 for the Democrats. 218 to get the majority. So it's still super close, like you were saying. Yeah.
All right. Well, still on America and the people then.
Wait, is there an update? Because somebody from America has just said Democrats got the Senate. Thank
Okay,
God.
let me have a look.
All right. Sorry, Esther, can continue.
No, it's still the same thing. I've just refreshed it.
Okay. So Trump warns DeSantis against running for president in 2024. So Donald Trump has warned Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, against running for president in 2024, saying doing so would harm the Republican Party. He also threatened to release unflattering information about the 44-year-old without providing details. Both men have been tipped to announce presidential runs and become likely rivals for the Republican nomination. Mr. Trump's comments came just hours before Tuesday's midterm elections that will decide control of Congress. He branded the rising Republican star Ron DeSantis, at a rally over the weekend. He told Fox News, "I think he would be making a mistake. I think the base would not like it. I don't know if he is running. I think if he runs, he could hurt himself very badly." This man is a joker. "I really believe he could hurt himself badly. I don't think it would be good for the party. If Mr. DeSantis were to announce a presidential bid, Mr. Trump said he would reveal things about him that wouldn't be very flattering. I know more about him than anybody, other than perhaps his wife." He did not provide details, but Mr. Trump has previously made threats to release damaging information about his rivals. He later described his potential opponent as a fine guy and denied there was a dispute between them. He said, "There's not a tiff with me. I'm way up in the polls."
Well, Trump's done it again.
He hasn't come out officially to confirm it, but he's looking like he's going to, man.
Is it, yeah?
Do you know what I think they need to have in America? I think a lot of states, there needs to be a cut-off date. Because you can't be out here threatening somebody, talking about releasing stuff, and then be like, "No, he's a very lovely guy." It sounds like it's amnesia when people forget. Yeah. It sounds like his mind is not all the way active as it should if you're going to be running a country. I think there should be a cut-off date for presidents. Should I go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. So the new electoral map being drawn up may benefit the Tories. So back in the UK, an initial analysis suggests the Conservatives could gain slightly from a proposed shake-up of England's electoral map. Leading experts say the party would have won an additional 5 seats at the last election under new draft parliamentary constituencies. That's it. It is part of a regular redrawing of the political map to ensure seats have roughly the same number of voters. The latest proposals were released on Tuesday to be finalised by July 2023. The overhaul is the first redrawing of constituency boundaries since 2010 and is set to be used at the next general election expected in 2024. The new boundaries based on voter registration figures will see England receive an additional 10 MPs, taking its total seats to 543. Wales is due to lose 8 of its current 40 seats, with the total for Scotland falling from 59 to 57. The number in Northern Ireland remains the same. The revised seat borders come from the Boundary Commission for England, one of 4 independent bodies in each of the UK nations responsible for redesigning parliamentary constituencies. Boundary Commission officials are redrawing constituency boundaries to ensure between 69,724 and 77,062 people live in each one. A definitive analysis of the new boundaries will be released after the proposals are confirmed next year. But in an initial assessment, they estimated the Conservatives would have won 353 of the 543 recommended seats in England if they have been in place at the last general election in 2019. All right. Well, let's get into our What You Saying topic of the day.
So today's topic of the day. I feel like this is a very apt topic because of everything that we spoke about yesterday. And obviously going forward, because it feels like every few months or every year, Black people are kind of facing a particular issue, right? That we, for some reason, don't have a consensus on how to, I guess, address that particular issue. So the question today is, and I know obviously we can only delve into it on the surface level, because I feel like this obviously kind of would need Black people from all walks of life kind of getting involved, right? But the question is, like I was saying, is how do we get on code? Number one.
I was going to say, was that it?
I always start with the bold questions, but how do we get on code? And number one is, do we need to get on code? Because obviously, if we don't need it, there's no point in even discussing it. Based on everything that's happened, based on the whole thing with Kyrie yesterday that we were discussing, that's still happening. Based on the whole Murad Morelli situation, obviously, like even just talking about Kyrie yesterday, the room was divided, right? The Murad thing, like he was reporting in the Word of the Road, it was divided as well. Yeah. Do we need to get on code?
What's the definition of on code?
I guess kind of everyone agreeing to
a consensus kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you. To deal with a particular issue.
Or regarding policing Black issues.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to. Everyone's got their own perspective.
Okay.
No?
So I'll give you an example. Since obviously we're talking about the whole Kyrie thing, look at the Jews, for example.
Yeah.
They have this particular thing in their head, no matter what walk of life it is, never again, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where they are. They all understand that if they see any sort of threat, any step in a particular direction that they don't like, they all come together. They could be beefing yesterday. Today they will be the best of friends to make sure this particular threat is nullified, right? That particular thing that happens to us, the things we complain about in regular life, again, like the Murad Morelli thing,
Yeah.
the Kyrie thing, the Kanye thing, even Kanye, everything, right? Do you feel like we need to be, you know what I mean, kind of have a consensus?
It'd be nice, but I don't think it's the same thing, because I think when they do it from a position of power, so they're not just moaning for no reason.
Yeah.
Because they can take action, you know what I'm trying to say, because it goes all the way up to the chain. So when they're moaning on the ground level, their message gets heard by the people at the top, because it's the same people, you know what I'm trying to say. With black people, they get to a point when there's a disconnect, you know what I'm trying to say that. So black people might have a gripe about something, and then it can get to like a corporate level where there's black people in the certain spaces that might hear what you're saying, but eventually it will get up to the chain, and then where it stops, and it's not the black people's, you know what I'm trying to say, that's hearing the arguments anymore, and then it changes that, if that makes sense. Whereas with the Jews, they can, like, because they're the majority of people that own certain influential places, them arguments and them gripes can get heard, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And they have the same sentiments, then they can take action and make action. I think with black people's problems, it's not the same. Like, they're just moaning for moaning's sake. It's not like they know that even like getting together is gonna have
I think
have some kind of effect. So I think it's different. I think if we was in a position where we do have control, then I think we would be on the same page more, because at least like decisions, the decisions can get made, innit? If that makes sense.
We asked the question to Mags, Emmanuel.
Huh?
We asked the question to Mags.
Okay. Do you feel that we need to get in code?
Well, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, though.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying. You're saying that, well, correct me if I'm wrong, that yes, it'll be better if we were more unified and on code, but black people aren't in the position to, you know, we're not in the position of power to regulate people the way our people are being regulated.
Yeah, when we couldn't really cancel anyone.
Yeah.
Like, really, we're not in a position to.
So that's a separate conversation, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there though. But okay. Esther, do you feel like we need to be?
I do think we need to be. I do. I think there needs to be a consensus about stuff. For example, the Kanye stuff. I just think not being on code and not having a consensus about what we class it, what should be seen as disrespect, allows more foolishness to be running about the place. I think if people knew that, if we were on code and everyone said, you know what, this thing you're doing, the thing you're saying, for example, Kanye, when he was saying things that was actually harmful to black people, if every black person was like, what you're saying is foolishness, this is like, we're not entertaining this bullshit, he would have had to check himself earlier. But when you got some people, because you're really only going to hear people that praise you, that is human nature, you're only going to gravitate towards the good things that's being said about you. Do you get what I mean? So when he's doing the nonsense he's doing, and then he's got people praising him for it, like, oh, blah, 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 or making excuses for him, he has no reason to check himself. And I think that's the problem. Even when we think about other people that come into the culture and do foolishness, someone like Murad, for example, like, for me, you can't tell me that you grew up around black people, you have black friends, and the way you speak, the way you act, the way even your interests is all been influenced by black culture, but then in your spare time, you're calling people all sorts of slurs and saying, well, is sex work. That's shouldn't be something that you're even comfortable to do because of how much this culture supposedly means to you. And I think that if we were on code, if we don't allow foolishness to run, if we all have the same level of tolerance for people and the things that they do, people will know how to act right. People will not be all this cultural appropriation stuff, all this blackfishing stuff.
Is it just about policing people, or is it about supporting people as well? Because you still want to wear the Yeezys after Adidas take them from him. So ain't that part of it as well?
Yeah, but that's what part of the
All yous lot. Well, I put the question to the room, and all yous lot still want to wear Yeezys after Adidas took it from
No,
them.
but that's all part of the being on code.
I don't have any Yeezys.
Doesn't matter
I've
whether
never
you,
had
no,
any
you don't
Yeezys.
own them. We was hypothetically, you don't care. You still would wear them. We spoke. We had this conversation.
Yeah, but again, that's part of
All
the
of yous
whole.
lot.
Yeah, but that's all part of being the
When's
whole.
this queen finished talking?
That's all part of everyone getting on code. For me, like the reason why I would wear Yeezys tomorrow is because I don't care about Kanye. Kanye disrespected black people, so I no longer support him. If he was someone who was respectful to black people, if he carried himself as someone who should be respected, and then he got his deal cut from him, I would in no way. I might even say I'm not wearing Adidas anymore, just because. But the thing is, I'm not going to be out here standing up for somebody who isn't standing up for black people.
The thing is, yeah, when you say get on code, is it to reprimand our own people or reprimand white people?
Thank you for that question. That was my next question. Do you feel as though we should have that differentiation?
Because what I was going to say is, the world doesn't revolve around Kanye West, innit? So besides Kanye West, yeah, who else in your mind are you thinking, okay, cool, we have to regulate or reprimand them
You mean within the
for
community?
stuff they're doing to us? Because Kanye's fight right now is against,
Yeah.
whoever he fights against, right? Mm-hmm. He's affecting us, in some type of way, but is our code meant to be against what he's doing to them or stuff he does to us? That's why I asked the first question about who are we meant to be regulating? So the question is, again, do we feel like we regulate white people?
No, we don't.
So isn't that more what the conversation should be around, not Kanye or Kyrie, right?
So just wanted to clarify here. What do you mean by regulate white people? As in how they
So the question about coding, right? And if we should be more unified. So if a white person was racist towards us, we would cancel them, regulate them, shut them out. But then it goes back to what he was saying. Do we have the power to do that in certain aspects, right? So what I'm trying to say is Kanye, is that for us to say, let's be more on code? Because what Kanye is doing isn't against us.
Well, no, but Esther was saying it is though, because remember he had the whole White Lives Matter
Yeah.
The
thing.
whole George Floyd
Alright, cool.
thing.
Yeah, no,
So go back to my other question. Besides Kanye, because obviously black people can't have a meeting about coding just because of Kanye West.
Of course not at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
besides Kanye,
Okay.
who else is there? Is this a mass problem or this is a Kanye West problem? It can't be a Kanye West problem, is what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
The whole code.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying the whole code thing is
Yeah.
basically about, I guess, all the things that black people typically complain about.
Yeah.
So the Morelli thing.
Yeah.
How some of us felt Kyrie was being treated.
Yeah.
Cultural appropriation.
Okay.
All the different things that
Yeah,
we complain
yeah,
about.
yeah.
That's basically it. But you guys are adding another point, which is something that I was going to bring up as well, is should we kind of check certain people who are black within the community and how they're affecting the community too? So those are
Okay.
two separate points.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, what do you?
So
what do you-
with the
I think everybody
Murad,
should get checked.
with the Murad thing, who are you saying should get checked? Chucky.
No, Murad.
No, but the problem with Murad was that he was on a black platform, having the platform to apologize and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that's what people are saying. But I think anyone who watches, I think people can think that upon seeing that he's on a platform. But when you watch the interview, you don't have that same sentiment, because I would have had an issue. Say Chucky was cuddling him. Chucky was very direct and was like, he basically told him this was a bunch of foolishness. I guess it was just to hear him out kind of thing. I personally think it was a bad interview, just because I could see that Chucky was not buying anything he was saying. When he was saying stuff, Chucky would be like, actually, even when he was trying to make excuses with stuff, Chucky would be like, actually, nah, this is why people are irritated. Do you get what I mean? So I think if he went on a platform, because sometimes someone can do something that insults the community, then they go on someone's platform and that person's cuddling them. I can't think of an example right now, but it's happened in the past where someone's done something disrespectful or whatever, and then there's one person who opens up their doors, and then when they come, it's like, it's all right, we understand, and they start to speak for every other black person. So with Murad, for example, I'm not checking Chucky at all, because all he did was, okay, say what it is that you want to say, and the guy unfortunately did not use the platform for good, because he just again said the same crap he said on his YouTube channel. But so in that situation, I'm checking Murad. I think everybody needs to be checked, because sometimes, unfortunately, even black people act a fool. So I don't think that it should be, because you know what it is as well. Yeah, I think everyone needs to check. I think sometimes as well, black people acting a fool and black people accepting the fool that's acting the fool, the foolishness, encourages other people to feel like, okay, that's fine, I can get away with it as well. Because if you're not checking your own, why would you check me? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but again, I think what the question marks poses is an important one as well. Yeah, because I think everybody, most people, kind of felt some type of angst against Murad, right? But in terms of how Chucky gave him a platform, right? Some people were against that. They didn't want him to have a platform at all.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But we were divided though. You see what I'm saying? Should we be on code in how we deal with those particular issues too? So yeah, we didn't like him, but then we kind of let him in to explain himself.
To be honest, I think even with on-coaching, say this Murad situation, if I was the person who was like, do you know what, if he wants to explain himself, let me explain himself. But then the rest of you guys are like, nah, let's never give him a platform. I can understand where you guys are coming from. It's easier for me to get on code with that because it's like, yeah, because at the basis of it is disrespect. What am I really trying to hear anyway that he hasn't already said? Or what can he even say that would justify the situation? I think there's certain matters where it is easy to get on code. Because when you think about it, if you guys say he shouldn't get a platform because there's nothing he can say to make this better, you're right.
But do you feel like that's easier said than done? Because you're saying you're willing to accept that. But do you feel as though if people went to Chucky and said, Chucky, don't have this guy on your platform, he would have listened?
I don't know Chucky personally. I don't know if he's someone who would listen to that. But if it was a case where like his bag was under threat, he would have listened. If it was a case where like he was going to lose deals or whatever or anything else. Oh no, I can't even say that. Sorry, that was... You know when you want to say something, it's close friends material. Sorry, but yeah. But yeah, if it was a case where he was going to, like his platform would have been like greatly adversely affected by that, of course he would listen because I'm sorry, but I'm not going to risk my platform that I built and worked so hard for this person.
And I guess how would these platforms have been threatened though? Threatened by black people? As in us not tuning into him, or do you mean...
If his audience is majority black people and black people said, you know, we're going to boycott you, then yeah.
But then again, it's like, that's not being on code. That's us having to force him to be on code.
No, that's us being on code in saying we're all going to boycott you. It's some uncodedness.
No, but I'm basically saying, it is, yeah, like in terms of the masses, right? But in terms of somebody who's influential like he is, right? And wanting to... I don't want to say he didn't extend the olive branch here, but he wanted to give him a platform to explain himself, right?
Yeah.
And everyone should have the freedom to do what they want to do, right?
Yeah, but if we all say we're going to boycott his platform, and then he says, okay, do you know what? I'm not going to take that risk. He's now on code. Whether he was forced there or not, or got you on code.
I don't think, as well, we don't want to speak for him. I don't think like he had this urge to give him a platform.
He never did. He didn't know who the guy was.
To explain himself.
And he made it clear. He was like, who are you?
Who's
like,
Chucky?
Yeah, he said I'd never heard of you before. The only time I saw you was when all this stuff was going on. But he was like, what do you do? So
Chucky's an inquisitive character. I think it would have been more to like the kink stuff, so like the race play, and the sex work stuff. I think he would have been more speaking to that. I think that's what would have intrigued him more to wanting to have a conversation. Because obviously I can speak to that because I know him personally. I know how his brain works in it. Like it would have been more of that than to say, oh, let's give this guy a platform to think, because that something happened ages ago. Like no one was asking for that.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't think
no one needed that.
Yeah, and I don't think Chucky. I don't know Chucky, but I don't think he reached out.
All right, there's a question. Sorry to interject. Would you guys have had Murad on this platform like Chucky done? I'm just reading it as I've said it. It's come to me, to be honest.
I think if you reached out, I can't lie. I would have wanted to sit with him, but I'm not sitting down with him to cuddle him at all. Like,
I don't know. I don't understand the need for that. I'm saying to speak to Chucky personally, I don't want to speak for a minute, but obviously having some kind of insight into the way he thinks, I could kind of guess. For me personally, I wouldn't want to or feel the need to sit down with this guy. Like maybe around the time. If it was around the time, then that's different. If he reached out and he wanted to have the platform to think, then we can have the conversation. You get me? We could fucking tear him down on head or whatever. Cool. But now. I wouldn't. I don't want that. But like I said, again, I'm speaking for myself. I don't need to see that. I didn't care about. I haven't even watched it anyway. To even, I don't want to pass my opinion on content. or just reacting to the thumbnail or whatever. I haven't watched it, but I'm not gonna watch it because I don't care about nothing Donny's got to say. You get me? That doesn't take anything away from Chucky. I don't hold it against him that he's got him on there. This is what we do, innit? Where like, we should be able to use our platforms for whatever we see fit.
100%.
Yeah, I think if you guys suggested reaching out to him, I would have been against that. But if he reached out to you and said, "Do you want to have an interview?" I would have sat with him. But I'm not sitting down with you to cuddle you at all. I'm sitting down to get into the foolishness. I'm sitting down to understand why it is that you are literally doing activism for black issues, doing Black Lives Matter, doing fighting the fight for why black women weren't represented enough on TV screen, doing colorism fights. But this is what you were doing in your spare time. Nah, man.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys, to be fair. I think now there's absolutely no need. At the time, if he reached out, perhaps try and hear from him, what's his viewpoint. But again, there's no way he would leave here thinking that it went his way, put it that way. There's no way, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, I think kind of sounds bad, but I think it would be a perfect opportunity to make an example of him. That's the way I
Did Chucky ask him the questions? Like, can you?
Sorry, before we continue, please don't let that thought leave your head. So it'll be a great opportunity to make an example of him.
Yeah.
Explain.
In terms of how we deal with people outside the culture who are exploiting people within the culture.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you explain to me what he done?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the videos of him basically like just humiliating men and that.
Calling them niggas.
But they asked him.
Calling them niggas and chinks and all these kind of
He
things.
said because they asked him.
No, I'm asking, did they ask him?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they
paid
paid him to do it. It was kink race play kink.
So he supplied the service that they asked for.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Whilst then coming to our culture and fighting for
The black fight.
What do you mean fighting that fight?
So basically, he has a whole thing. So he blew up from talking about like things that he's interested in, like TV shows and whatever.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to like Love Island, so he's even worked with Love Island.
Okay.
When it comes to shows and TV and all that kind of stuff, he's always talking about black women are not black women are very represented on this platform. So he's always calling out people for not for black representation.
Yeah.
He basically talks and fights for black issues.
Okay.
So the issues that we fight for amongst ourselves, he also has taken upon himself to make a post and fight for these issues. And I think the issue as well, the issue is not the sex work that he was doing. That can be whatever.
Yeah.
I think what was really getting to people is that you're someone who you literally make noise about how pro-black you are, but this is what you do in your spare time. For me, that is so distasteful. You can't be someone who's pro-black, but be comfortable enough.
Did he ask the question? Can you do that? Can you do that kind of stuff and be racist?
But the thing is,
not be racist?
question: what's more the problem? The fact that black people asked him to do this to them, or that he said yes?
For me, it's the fact that he said yes.
But
that's what the problem is, that he said yes. It's not that.
So there's no issue with the fact that black people wanted this to be done.
No, because that's their kink.
People have different kinks. It's not just black people.
might
White
be.
people
But I'm not defending him. I don't give a shit. But he supplied a service. They asked for this.
Yeah.
They're adults. They said, "Do this to me." He said, "Yeah."
Yeah. The context is important, but that's
You
what
know
I'm
what I
trying to say. So can you do that and not be racist? Like, can you compartmentalize the issues?
that.
If that makes sense. I'm asking you, do you think that's possible?
I think everything's possible.
Yeah,
but
I think it's possible.
when you now come into an arena, an environment in which it is the people say they don't like that, but that's the consequence of what it is. That
Yeah, of course. That's with anything when it comes to the like.
Yes.
But I'm saying like you can't. You look at them and like morals ain't a linear thing. Everybody's morals are different. So he might put his aside for money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? And which I'm not saying it's going to be wrong or right to whoever you're speaking to, because everybody looks at things differently. But he might be able to put his morals to one side.
Yeah.
For monetary gain.
Yeah.
You get me? And then when you look at the two issues, so can he do it and not be racist?
I've just answered that question. I said yes, it's possible, but he hid all of that, right?
Yeah.
He didn't say, now that I'm coming into this particular arena, I'm having all these black women basically champion me. I'm not going to tell you what I've been doing behind the scenes, because if I do that, you guys aren't going to be championing me.
Yeah, of course.
So that's done.
And you have to deal with the consequences of anything that comes to that. It is what it is. But nobody's going to come and tell you that.
I understand that, but it's happened. It's happened.
So, okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're right.
Emmanuel, the reason why I asked you to expand on that is because you're advocating for making an example of him, because he's come into our community and he's looked to be disparaging, yes?
Oh, I see where he's gonna. He set you up from.
No, I didn't set you up. It's
Oh,
just
no, I knew.
No, I'm not trying. Again, I'm not trying to set you up. I think when it is we were going back and forth about the extensive nature of what these other communities are doing to certain individuals, you're kind of perplexed. And I'm saying we should be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And that's only why I asked you to expand on making an example, because we have been seeing examples being made of other individuals who've gone into communities and said disparaging things.
Yeah, I get that, but I see it different because, again, with the whole Kyrie thing, I feel as though he didn't do anything. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Charles Barkley, for example, and Shaq. Remember I was talking about this the other day. They called him idiots.
Yeah,
As a grown man.
Yeah,
Charles Barkley was calling him an idiot, saying he should be suspended before he was suspended. This is black people coming up to do this.
Yeah, they tore him down. Shaq and Barkley didn't hold back. They was probably the worst out of everybody.
Yeah, 100%. It was disgusting. And so to me, when I hear stuff like that, yeah, I don't even want to go into that.
Do you know what though? That's why realistically we can't actually get on code, because while you think that that's disgusting and that's horrible, someone else will be listening to you when you don't see why he's facing what he's facing, and even like when we're speaking about Kanye, and they'll be thinking, how could you defend that? But that's why these issues we can't all be on code, because everyone has different standards.
Yep.
But the way it's easy for you to look at someone and think, why would you say that? It's very easy.
You're 100% correct,
well.
and you're 100% correct, and that's the reason why I'm bringing it here to be like, can we be on code, and do we need to be? But what I would say in response to that is, I believe I'm consistent because I'm defending all black people. Yes, he may have been bad to us, Kanye, chatting this, that, and the third, but I'm not happy with another group talking badly about him.
No, because
You know what I'm saying?
you weren't even happy when my black group was talking about Kanye in a negative way.
What black group?
When me, as a black person, was talking about negative about Kanye, you weren't happy about that either. So I don't think it's about the group.
Remember, he ran into their teeth, bruv. He ran into their embrace.
What do you
He's
mean?
running away from us and
Those
running
are his
into them.
friends.
These are his brethrens.
I don't. Again, we're gonna go around in circles. I don't see it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Do I believe he wanted to work with them and do? Yes, 100%.
Not just
Of course
work,
he did.
brother. He
did.
wants validation from
Yes,
them.
I even said that too. I believe that he does to some degree, right? But still,
You want to save him.
it's not about wanting to save him. I don't want him to be treated like a slave
So
by
you
other
wanna
people.
Save him. Even
From
though
being
he's-
treated
he's-
like a slave,
Even though
yes.
he's ran into the...
Yeah,
From
there's
being treated
Uncle
like a
Tom.
slave.
Hold on.
Uncle Tom.
You're talking about who?
Kanye West.
Oh, I feel about Kyrie.
No, because he said how, your issue is other people treating black people or talking down about blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But your issue is also when black people do it as well. Because even what Shaq has spoken, is Kyrie black? Is half black?
Yeah, no, it's black.
it's black.
It's
No,
black,
black,
man.
full black.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Kyrie, Shaq said what he said.
Yeah, so
You
yeah,
have
you're
an
right.
issue with that as well. So
Yes.
I don't think it's about just other. I think maybe you get more annoyed when it's other races.
Yeah, 100%.
But the annoyance is still there either way.
Because I don't think us as black people should be tearing each other down.
Alright,
And I
so-
don't believe other people should. I think we should reprimand, we should chastise, we should correct, we should do certain things, right? And edify our people at the end of it, right? 100%.
So the
But to throw somebody to the wolves over there.
But what if the person entered the lion's den
This
themselves?
is- Wait, stop.
He did.
Throw someone to the wolves. Stop.
We didn't sacrifice him.
Stop. Emmanuel, this reframing of Kanye West is ridiculous. Let's see. All right.
You should be on his PR team.
When those blacks used to take the whip from Master's hand and slap it
Yeah.
on our backs, if Master now turns around and basically takes the whip from that person's hand and then slaps them further down the line, brother, are you looking to say, stop it, Master, please don't beat him?
Say that again, Ben.
During
yeah.
slavery times, you know full well certain black people used to take whips and as in take on the mantle of disciplining us, yes?
Yeah.
They used to sell out heavy, yes?
Yeah.
Cool. Those same blacks, do you have any sympathy for them when it is the whites turning them?
No.
This is how I see flipping Kanye West.
Well, you shouldn't.
All right.
Because Kanye West is not in that position. He was not in that position.
Okay.
Because you are now saying that Kanye West came out to basically treat other black people in a bad way, like in a derogatory way throughout his career.
Brother,
And
I could run through
I
the
don't, I don't see
litany
it that way.
of...
I don't see it that way.
Anyway, let's continue.
I get your position when it comes to certain things with regards to Kanye, but I think it's unfair to kind of make him out to be that way
Cool.
fully.
Cool. That doesn't matter.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to kind of go with what Esther was saying, I'm against us doing it to ourselves, especially when I don't think there's a need to, right? And remember, I know it may seem like I was fully defending Kanye, but remember, I was saying I understand why everyone thought the way they're thinking, right? But to me, I was thinking, let's hear him out. You see what I'm saying? Because I wanted to, give him a chance, basically. That's what it was. But yeah, in terms of getting on code, do you feel like it's impossible to get on code?
I think that's case in point, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Two thingies, right? 2 points. You're saying it because we can't all agree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Marx was earlier talking about in terms of us not having the power. Mm-hmm. Can those two things be rectified?
Can your mind change about how you see these issues?
That's a good question.
Like this Kanye thing right now.
Yeah.
Can your mind change?
Yes.
It hasn't in the last few months.
Because it didn't need to. I don't believe it should have.
Exactly, and this is why we can't get on code.
That's not exactly. We've not
exactly
fought
that.
it enough. We've not fought it enough.
Me
You have to
and
understand
Brent
something.
have literally explained, and Yusuf as well, explained and explained
To death.
and explained. Like I can't even. I get the shakes when I hear Kanye's name. I get the shakes.
Yeah.
That's how much we've explained it.
Yeah.
And you don't think that anything we've said is worth you, perhaps thinking about maybe these people have got a point. Mm-hmm. This is why we can't get on code because everyone's going to be justified and everyone's going to feel as though they're justified in how they feel. It's impossible.
I hear you, but that's still 3 out of 5 people in the room. There's hundreds of people outside of the room who agree with me.
And there's thousands that agree with us.
1,000 that agree with me too. You see what I'm saying? So you can't make it seem as though the
You are proving that
majority.
point. So,
you can't say
like,
as though,
I don't
you can't
get it.
say the majority agrees with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And expect me to do that. Okay. I'm simply saying when it comes to culture though, I'm willing to do what's necessary for black people. You see what I'm saying? If all of us are saying, yo, let's do this particular thing for the benefit of us, I'm willing to side with the culture. That's how I see it. You see what I'm saying? We're not in that position right now though. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know how you give Kanye so much grace, to be honest. And then you basically call this Shaq and this next guy out of their name because of what they said.
Yeah, because Kyrie didn't do anything.
He was an idiot for what he did though.
Kyrie was not an idiot.
Of course he was.
No, he
He
wasn't.
was.
He wasn't an idiot.
No, he was.
He had a platform and
Again,
he used, and
3
he
out of
didn't-
5 are thinking he's an idiot for retweeting a link.
Yeah,
No,
that's
To me,
but-
that's
No,
ridiculous.
but it's
Interesting.
not just between the link; it's what the link represents.
Exactly.
It's like you're a platform, you're a brand.
Nah, man, the way they tried to come for him, and
It's
even he
ridiculous,
didn't
man.
get to give the apology that
No,
they
but
wanted.
even- okay,
he
if-
articulates,
Nah,
he
you guys
articulated, articulated himself very well. There should not be no confusion in
Nothing
what
at
this
all.
man's saying.
He didn't have to
And
post
he's not.
it.
He's not an
He
He
idiot.
didn't.
post it
He
at the
didn't have to
end
post it,
of the
and
day.
that
He didn't have to
act
post it.
of posting
He didn't
it
have to
was an
post it.
idiotic thing to
Man.
do.
So,
Nah,
so
it's not.
if I want people to see the
No,
video,
it's
how
not.
do I go about doing it? If I'm Kyrie,
No, it's not.
You better
Your
send
private
your private
WhatsApp
message and hope
broadcast,
no one
bruv.
leaks
You
that.
don't
so
put
if
it
I
out in the public.
remember, I can influence millions of black people. Millions of black boys and girls look up to me as Kyrie. I want them to know about their heritage because I suffered as a
Then
youth.
do your due diligence and find out exactly what's in this piece of media.
So I need to be a journalist and say,
Emmanuel,
What?
wait,
You're
Oh,
ridiculous.
What you're
You're
saying is
ridiculous.
ridiculous. You're saying blindly just do anything?
Like,
Yes,
Mr.
Emmanuel.
Economics?
Find out exactly what you're posting.
Exactly.
Yes,
he
Eman.
knows what he's
Emmanuel, this is
posting.
not
He
the
watched the
stance you want to
video.
take. This is not the stance
Exactly.
you want to
Then,
take.
if that's what you think, then he should be reprimanded. Then because it's anti-Semitic stuff in the media, in the piece of media.
What about the good stuff that's in it?
Thanks. That's the point I'm
You
making.
know
like,
what?
you still, I can't. I'm tapping out.
I don't care enough.
What's
I'll
that?
be
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
with
yeah.
you.
What's
I
the
don't
next
care
point?
enough.
What's the
Next
next point? I'm not
topic.
doing this. I'm really not doing this morning.
This is insane.
What's the next
This
point?
is insane.
No,
We
no.
can't get on goal.
You're insane. You're insane.
What's the next point?
Black
What's the next
people,
point?
black people, we're done out here, you know.
Yeah, we're
You
done.
are done out here.
No.
You are done out here.
You
The
two
rest
are
of
done out
us
here.
are.
I'm not
You
done
two,
out here.
both
You
of
are.
done out here.
Well,
I can never be done out here when it
Okay.
comes to black people.
Ridiculous.
All right.
Impossible.
What's the next point,
Ridiculous.
please?
Next topic, man.
Please. Let me even. Are we done with this?
No,
What
we're
you
not.
saying?
If you have any other points to that, Emmanuel?
Yeah, the other point was in terms of power, because obviously to be on code, right, and to actually have your voice actually mean something, right? We need to be in power. Do you guys feel as though we have enough power? And if we don't, how do we kind of rectify that?
Everyone step their pussy game up.
What?
Everyone work hard, and then we'll be in positions of power.
How?
Step it up. Every time it can be, but again, there's too many issues. There's people
Listen.
that
Black people, everyone's got their own masters.
that's
Everyone's got their own masters. Shaq and them, they've got their own masters.
That's
They're
it.
bowing down to their master. Hence why they said what they said about Kyrie. Everyone's got
And
their
the
own
masters are white. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what Kanye is?
What's that
anyway.
got to do?
that. Honestly,
Anyway.
What's that got to do with anything?
Okay.
What I'm saying is, you asked 2 questions, right?
Answering your question.
Should we be on code and can we be on code?
Yeah.
We should and we can't because everyone has their own master. Everyone has their own bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shaq and them, they know who their master is, right? Do you think
So how do we
Right?
rectify it? That's the
it
question.
can't
as
be
well.
rectified?
It can't be rectified.
How?
Jews came out of the Holocaust.
How?
Wait a minute. Jews came out of the Holocaust in the 40s
Yeah.
without being anti-Semitic. They hold many positions of power.
You show me how. Tell me how.
I can't necessarily just say
And
how do
neither
we
do
do
I
it.
have the answer.
But I'm basically saying, can we rectify it?
I don't think it can be. That's my answer.
So you feel like we're literally doomed to this position forever?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Wow. What's the point in trying for anything?
No, because we get individual powers, but as
Listen,
a nation,
I'm-
as a people,
I've got an end date in this life, innit? I'm living my journey. My community, my family, my friends. That's it.
But do you not then think about the world for your children then?
I know what I'm good.
I'll let the chips fall where they may.
I
Bro,
mean,
what did you say?
everyone has the
I said,
freedom.
I know I'm good.
I pray my children have a fantastic life and their children have a fantastic life.
all the best all
But
parties involved.
what does prayers do, man?
Prayers
Prayers
does a
alone
lot,
can't
boy.
do crap.
Sorry?
Imagine, you know, you make people tired to basically want to jump on board with an initiative. If on this thing you basically argue to death the wrong side, you make people tired. So right now everybody's tired with this particular conversation because of your stance. Do you understand? You're a very, very powerful orator, right? You know full well that you can communicate certain ideologies, right? But you're very stubborn when it comes to things that are glaringly obvious, especially this Kanye West conversation. And you know full well, because I've been talking to you about this particular thing for the longest while.
So, okay. So Kanye aside, because there's no reason why us as black people, right, especially us in this room, should be feeling some type of way about Kanye West. None of us know him or met him, right? So Kanye aside, right, can you guys answer the question?
I told you I know what I'm going to do.
Okay. So
I'm going to get me some influence.
what do you mean by that?
I'm going
though?
to rally the troops and get me some influence.
So what do you mean
Because
by
I
that?
believe that
do
we're
you
very powerful.
rectify it?
I
Okay,
believe
cool.
that we're very, very powerful. I believe that we are tastemakers, we are trendsetters. We actually are in front of any single wave that basically washes over the land, right?
Yep.
And we just don't know it. Or somebody's trying to call. Can you call via WhatsApp, please? Thank you very much. We just don't know it. And we don't have an initiative that we can get behind that's in a trustworthy governance. And I believe once it is that we do, and it's seen, I think it'll be backed and we'll build. So I know what I'm going to do.
So, and this particular idea that you're talking about now, you don't feel as though black people have ever thought this way.
Yes.
So how come it didn't work now? Why you worked before?
Different times, different men, different women. That doesn't deter me.
No. Yeah, it's not about deterring you, but in terms of it being an effective method. If it didn't work before, why?
Different times,
Okay, again, so you just see it as different times and different people.
different elements of influence, different people involved.
Okay. All right.
That's not going to deter me. Though. I'm still.
No. Remember, I'm not talking about you being deterred, innit?
Yeah.
But remember, you're one person out of millions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you're just one person and you affect a lot of people, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. 100%.
Hundreds,
Yeah, but
trillions.
no, but you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
Right?
I think it's
Yeah.
more so the message and also the messenger who's carrying the message is very important.
Okay, cool. Anyway, like I said in the beginning, I think it's one of those conversations where I think if we are to ever get in code, I think there needs to be a real meeting. Because obviously, as we've seen here, I don't think we can ever leave it up to black people to just tap into some spiritual, mysterious black abyss and all of us understand what it means to be on code. I think people from certain communities in and amongst ourselves have to sit down and discuss what being on code look like.
Don't you think it's
What does that look like to you in a practical sense? When you say have a meeting,
Good question.
who's in this meeting?
Okay, I couldn't tell you everybody, but in terms of the most influential, so people maybe who are influential in banking, who are influential in music, in fashion, in podcasting.
Okay, so they have this meeting,
Yeah,
and then what happens next?
It depends what's discussed at the meeting. By the meeting, everyone discussed what it looks like to be on code. So if it is that we as people want to be on code, right, and feel the need to be on code, so it's like, okay, cool. When it comes to this particular thing, this is what we're allowing in. We're okay with having discussions with certain people.
Yeah.
But if maybe we've seen that this particular person or this particular narrative is being spread, we shut it down.
All right.
You
So
know what I'm
these
saying?
6-7 people, they have a meeting. They
Be more
devise
than
their
that,
plan.
yeah.
How do they get this message out?
So say that again? Last thing.
The meeting happens.
Yeah.
They come up with their policies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How do they get this out?
Well, remember, they're the influential people in their communities. So they will go to their communities and they will share it in whatever way they've been influencing their communities beforehand. So people get the memo, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah. I mean, because to me, this is how things happen. The Jews did the same thing. They sat down together. When white people wanted to divvy up Africa with the Berlin Conference, they physically sat down together, pulled out a map and cut it up and said, this is what I'm taking, and everyone agreed. If they can do it and they were effective, they colonized us, sent us away, hundreds of millions of us died, why can't we sit down and come to some consensus?
Is
I
this?
think it's an idealistic.
I do. Go on, one other question. Is this? Obviously, the world is big, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're thinking about this.
Yo, I'm doing the school run, man. I can't even talk right now.
For a second, please.
Oh, you say you can't talk anyway.
When you're talking about this meeting, are you thinking about the UK?
In the shower.
Are you thinking about Africa?
Tonight.
Like,
But they ain't done school run yet.
what are you in your
Now
mind?
they're going in the class.
Are you just focusing on being on code here in the UK, and this meeting in your mind is happening between people in the UK, or like, how are you seeing it?
It literally can be however way we want it to start. So yes, it can start even in just London. Then it can start in the UK. Then it can start in Europe. Then across seas. You know what I'm saying? In whatever way.
The thing is,
Then we
I
see fit.
admire your
Optimism.
and passion for this, right? But I was asking you practical questions because I just feel like I'm not saying what you're saying couldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
It just always sounds very idealistic
Yeah.
and very easy, but it's not easy.
Morning, guys. Morning, Iman.
Good morning.
Danielle here.
I know that.
Oh, hi,
So I
Danielle.
think-
Good morning, beautiful lady.
Good morning. So, Iman, I get your point, but I think mentality. What we don't have, or I think what we're lacking as a Black community, is the lack of scarcity. So when you get people in positions of leadership, so I work for banks, so I can count on one hand the amount of Black people in power that I've seen working in all the organizations I've been in. When they get to the top, they don't pull people upwards, okay? So everybody's thinking about themselves, everybody's being selfish, okay? They have their agendas, they want to make their money, and because there isn't that mentality of unity, then they're not thinking about the next person. So until we have more Black people in leadership positions, as exactly as Margs was saying earlier, there is no way that we can have an impact at the top because they don't care about our influence, because if that one Black person leaves, it's not going to be detrimental to the bottom line or the revenue of that particular organization. And until we agree that we all have a responsibility to enable and facilitate the next Black person to walk in our footsteps or to bring them up, then it's never going to happen.
I agree.
Yeah.
So how do we rectify it then? Because like I said before, in the 40s, millions of Jews were killed. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this was Jews in Europe. There were Jews around the world. But they had a horrible tragedy happen. But look at where they are today. You know what I'm saying? How can we rectify it? Some people in the room feel like we're doomed.
We're still there today.
Huh?
We're still there today. They've moved forwards. They've progressed. They've managed to build their community. We haven't done that.
That's what I'm saying. How? Hello?
Yeah, I'm saying we're disparate. We're not. We don't operate as one. And I don't think it will take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. This is an entire generation that needs to change.
I agree with that. Yeah. But in terms of, because obviously, like Yusuf asked me that question in terms of practical steps, yeah. I know this is kind of off the top of your head, but how do you see us, what would you say the main points are for us to kind of all kind of implement or try to implement to kind of rectify that so that at least we can get the ball rolling, even if it does take us decades?
Okay, so I know that within some organizations there are kind of spokespeople. You know, after BLM, there were people put in positions of kind of diversity and inclusion. Again, unfortunately, from what I've seen, those people who reached those positions looked at their position as a selfish means to an end, to enable their own business, to kind of put more money in their pockets, to build their brand. So I don't have the answers for you. You know, I told you the other day I was going to leave you a long voice note. It's a really difficult topic because I think that the mentality is so broken. And, you know, we as Black people, we don't excel in just one specific space. You know, where we're talking about other communities, they're very business oriented. We're split across media influence and much less in the corporate space. So even if we pull everybody together, the influence isn't focused in just one area where it matters, including politics.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Since you're on the call, yeah, this is a question I wanted to ask everybody as well. Yeah, do you feel as though we're kind of being harsh on ourselves? Because Jews are not like Black people. Jews are just one group. Black people, we're like thousands of different tribes, different languages, different countries, different nations, and we. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we expect to be on code? We all want different things, have had different experiences and things of that nature. Like, are we being too harsh? Are these lofty ideas that we're never going to attain?
Do we even know that these other communities are on code in the way we're defining on code? Or have they worked and they're able to be in positions of power and then they've helped bring other people in their community along to these positions? Because I can't believe that every single person within a community will ever be able to be on code. Again, we've all got different life experiences. Yeah. We're all from different areas. Like, I don't think it's realistically possible. So even these other communities that we compare ourselves to, I don't believe that they're even on code. It's just there's a lot of them.
They don't have to be
when they're public facing, I believe.
Yeah, but they don't have to. It don't have to be like that all the way across the board. It just has to be the people that are making the decisions at the top. They need to be like-minded with whatever the popular sentiment is. You know what I say? It don't have to be across the board. There could be pure Jewish people who understand where Kanye or Kyrie's coming from in their communities. Where that's irrelevant.
Exactly.
That don't matter. It's like what you're saying. It's the forward-facing people, the people with the power. They're in line.
But what's the top to you?
The top is whoever gets to make whoever calls the shots.
And you think our people are there?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's one of the problems.
Yeah,
we're not at the top.
Yeah, but it's like what Daniel was saying. That's not like a 2-year or 3-year problem. This is a generational thing. You get me? The things that got put in place and the industries that got taken over and invested in at a certain time. It was a different time in history. It's a different point in the world. To have that kind of influence.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. I don't know how you, and then you have to uproot people that are already in the positions of power and take it. That's what's even harder. No one want to concede that power and that influence. You know what I'm saying? People are already there, so it's not just filling a void. You're talking about replacing something that's already there. It's difficult. I don't know what the steps are to that. I don't know what that looks like.
No, Margs, you're right, and I think it comes down to ownership. The only way you can displace, I don't even think you can displace people from the top or from their positions of power. You just create new organizations and new opportunities where Black people are in ownership, and that's when you have the influence. And I guess that's what the New Black's trying to do, right?
Yeah. That's right. You know you are a public nuisance.
have a good day, everybody.
Have a lovely day. You know the do for self narrative. Is that do for each individual self, or is that do for Black people self?
Do for Black people self.
Okay.
Us doing, us.
We're doing for ourselves.
Yeah, self-reliance.
Okay.
Because if we had that self-reliance, again, as taught by Marcus Garvey and the Honourable Elijah Muhammad, we wouldn't be in the situations that we're in, where we have to, like you were saying earlier, about Black people knowing who their master is and having to pander to these people. You know what I'm saying? At the expense of your own people. But yeah. All right. I think that's enough for today, man.
Damn Skippy. All right, let's get into our next headlines. Good morning. Did you pick up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Who are we speaking to, please?
It's Mo.
Morning, Mo. You all right?
Morning. Yeah, I'm alright. Just wanted to involve myself a little bit in the conversation.
Don't be doing your sexy voice. Boy, talk properly.
This is me talking properly now, man. I'm siding with E-Man today. I'm loving everything E-Man is saying today.
You're trying to
I
make
don't
up
know
to him
why,
last
but I'm
week.
loving it. No. Seriously.
Please elaborate on what it is you agree with,
What-
please.
I agree with basically what he's saying is, in my understanding is, what we doing to Kyrie is wrong. Us as black people, he hasn't done anything to deserve to be called an idiot or anything like that.
Yep.
And the bare minimum code that we should have amongst all of us is like just not treat our other black people like with respect. The bare minimum, like we don't need to call them idiot.
I don't know what you mean by like just not cheat or black.
Well, that was my iPhone. Sorry about that. My iPhone is listening to me. That's the Siri speaking. But yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you said that we shouldn't call him an idiot.
Yeah, as in like, look, what he's done and the outrage that's coming out, it's not matching.
All right, you're talking about the excessiveness, yes?
Yes.
But reprimanding him is okay, but not so excessively?
Like, or not from black people anyway. Cool. The Jews can do what they want to do. I get it. But
What
black
do you get
people,
about it?
What the Jews are doing?
Yeah,
What
you
the
said you
Jewish
get it.
community.
What do you get about it?
The Jews, come on. Listen, I don't want to start speaking about Jews because I'm on the other side. So I might say some crazy stuff. What I mean as in like, they've always done this. Kyrie is, by the way, is Muslim, by the way. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Hello?
Mark, you knew that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering the
Well, he
relevance.
did- well,
What's the relevance?
The relevance is the other side of the border is Jewish people. They're the one taking him out of all these spaces now. Like they're cancelling his contract and all of these things because
So
he
you're
put a
saying they're
link
doing it
up.
because he's
The same
Muslim?
link. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it could be one of the reasons. The same link that he put up, you can go buy on Amazon. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The same thing that he put, you can go buy on Amazon. What is it that he's doing wrong that Amazon is not doing wrong?
Okay, do you think that he was irresponsible
such a
to use
simple
his
premise.
platform? Do you think he was irresponsible to have retweeted that in the first place?
That's up for debate. I don't know.
All
What
right.
do you mean
I
it's up for
feel
debate?
like
I'm
if
asking you a
he,
simple
because
question.
I haven't watched
See,
it. I
even this
haven't watched
language,
it.
yeah. Have
Listen.
we watched it to talk about he was
You
irresponsible?
get
We
what
don't
I
even know
can't
if this
say,
language is
you
not
get
good.
what-
Why was it irresponsible?
Okay,
Alright.
let's
Wait,
let's all not
let
talk
me-
about it
let
then
me
and watch it
Let me
first,
address you, Mags.
right?
Someone paid £40, not me.
I watched an hour. of it.
Mags and Mo. Did Kyrie come out
Can
to
I watch
apologize?
it? You know what I'm gonna do?
No,
What I- you know what I'm gonna
No,
do?
wait,
Please
no,
just
no, wait,
answer
I'm
the
gonna
questions
go
I'm
watch
asking you. Mags and Mo.
Go
Mo,
on.
you're in Denmark right
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah.
All right, and you're in Ilford, UK, Mags.
Further.
I'm
That's
here
crazy
with
though,
you. I'm here
is that
with
you always respond to people.
Mama,
Father.
I'm doing all of this with love, so
I'm
don't.
listening.
All right, cool,
I'm
cool, cool.
listening.
Did he come out and apologize?
Yeah.
Do you agree with the apology? Do you think he should have done it?
Nah.
But he did it anyway. He used his own agency to do it, yes?
Yeah.
All right.
He's
Mo,
forced-
how about
he's
you?
forced to.
Forced.
When you say forced, everything else that he's done,
I
he's
feel
done
like
willfully, yes?
now,
Now,
listen. I feel like
you guys are reading what
No,
he
no,
did
listen.
as him being forced to do it, right?
He came.
No.
Listen.
No.
Well,
no.
yes.
Hey.
I'm telling you now, yeah.
Thanks. Let me.
My man
Go on.
came out, yeah, and he spoke. He spoke very eloquently, yeah, and he explained himself. There's no malice there, nothing malicious going on, none of these things. You get what I'm trying to say? And it still wasn't good enough. They are still threatening to reprimand him and do all these things. That last ditch, that writing that he put on his personal Instagram in the night after he spoke in front of the media on either 2 or 3 separate occasions, yeah, without saying what they want him to say. That last one in writing, yeah, is with a gun at his head. I'm telling you now, it's because everything was getting on top
Are
and
you
he had to
saying
do
that
that.
he fears these individuals?
There's the reprimands.
And now he's done something off the back of him fearing them, right?
Okay.
Do you agree?
You're leading me. Go on, get to your point.
Did Shaq do the same thing?
What do you mean?
Did he act on a fear because you believed he did it because he was told to do it?
I don't know if he's fair. He's just. I don't know if maybe he's a collaborator.
Yusuf mentioned earlier everybody has their own master and they will decide to serve whoever they want to serve.
They're
You
using the
just
black
said
people in the
Kyrie
media to do their
basically
bidding.
obeyed his master. Yes, this is the premise in which you're saying.
It's not his.
He's not using his own agency.
Master?
He's been forced to do this. Yes.
His master might be the money.
Mo, we need to move on to the
Yes.
headlines. Thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Have a nice day.
No problem.
Love you, bro.
You too. You too. You too. You too.
I love that, man. So
No
funny.
problem.
Alrighty, well, let's get into it. So, Sir Gavin Williamson resigns.
Oh, I was gonna put him in Out Ere yesterday as well. You know.
Thank you.
No, I swear I was. I'm pissed I didn't get a chance to because then they would have thought the nation was listening to me.
We kind of broke news yesterday on something there, but yeah. I didn't see everyone else reporting it until we talked about it, but
What was it?
props to us. Hush puppy. So, no shade, of course. Sir Gavin Williamson has resigned as a government minister after allegations of bullying, saying he aims to clear himself of any wrongdoing. The MP has been accused of sending abusive messages to a fellow Tory MP last month and of bullying a senior civil servant as Defence Secretary. Sir Gavin said he refuted how his conduct had been characterised. However, he added that the claims were becoming a distraction from the government's good work. In his resignation letter, he said he was leaving government with real sadness, but offered Prime Minister Rishi Sunak his full and total support from the backbenchers. He later tweeted he will not be taking any severance pay, adding that the money should go towards the government's priorities, such as reducing the NHS's waiting lists. In reply, Mr. Sunak said he accepted his resignation with great sadness and thanked Sir Gavin for his personal support and loyalty, adding that his commitment to successive Conservative governments and the party over the years has been unwavering. As reported recently, Sir Gavin had come under increasing pressure since a series of expletive-laden text messages sent by him to Tory colleague and then Chief Whip Wendy Morton were published in the Sunday Times. On Monday, a senior civil servant told The Guardian Sir Gavin had bullied them and told them, trigger warning, to slit your throat. And on Tuesday, Anne Milton, who worked as Deputy Chief Whip between 2015 and 2017, told Channel 4 News that Sir Gavin's behaviour had been threatening and intimidating. In his resignation letter, Sir Gavin said he would comply with an ongoing complaints process concerning texts he sent to a colleague and added that he had apologised to the recipient for those messages.
These
So he did it.
These lot might still make it, man. I'll be honest with you. This whole cabinet, is just, Rishi's taking the piss. But I didn't even check the head to see who's done it this week, but they might get a special mention because they're taking the piss. I could have told you that was going to happen.
Mm.
He's so dumb. Why would he give him the job?
Boy.
And like on top of everything that was going on with Corona, you know what? Anyway, I might have to reason
Got you
about
stressed
Jesus.
today, innit?
No, because he's dumb. The whole cabinet thing is dumb. This guy's dumb. He's
dumb.
He's just dumb. Rishi's just dumb. He came out, said some stuff on the steps. He's just one U-turn after the other. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see.
It's so nice to see politics have you so like, well done. You're really upper class, baby. You love to see it, man. Love to see it.
Brent is a terrorist.
What's Brent doing?
Brent is pushing his narrative in the chat.
Yes,
All right,
husband.
so let me take this one in. I obviously didn't finish my point because my head got hot, right? So why I was asking you guys about this particular line of Kyrie's timeline was because if you agree that he is a freedom fighter, he is a free thinker, and as Yusuf said earlier, he's been doing things freely for a while and stood behind it, right?
Okay.
He's now initially done something, which is post the video. And in doing that, off the back of that, there's been a perception off the back of that. And he's been asked on several occasions to walk it back. And he chose not to. And then the letter came, yes? Cool. Now, even though he dropped the letter, it still didn't stop Nike from kind of removing him, 100%. And in that particular letter, he stipulated what he was endorsing and what he wasn't endorsing, right? Now, if you believe that Kyrie is the free thinker and his own agent, as you guys have been trying to tell us, then why are you now dropping the letter as part of something he was now forced to do, as opposed to him still saying, all right, cool. Yeah, I was a bit irresponsible. This is what I agree with, and this is what I don't agree with. Me sending this particular tweet with this video, this is the bits I agree with, these are the bits I don't agree with. Why is that such a bad thing to stand behind? And if you're saying
if that was his choice, it's not a bad thing. If that was his choice,
that it's his choice, because you said he was forced to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying if that was his choice that he wanted to do, he would have said that from the beginning, from Jump Street.
And this is my point. If you're qualifying that if he wanted to do this in the first place, he would have done it in the first place. This is me saying he was irresponsible to not give clarity. Just like Kanye West just said, White Lives Matter, and Emmanuel was saying, maybe he means something else. Let's wait and have an explanation to see if it's going to go somewhere good.
No, because
you understand? It's the same parallel.
He explained himself. He went to front of the media and he said what he was saying. It just wasn't good enough for them.
Look, just focus on what I've just done just now, right? You mentioned something.
It made sense.
What?
No, continue. I'll say what I'd say after.
What you just said was, if he meant it, if he really wanted to do it, he would have done it in the beginning. And my initial point was, the fact you've just retweeted this without an explanation, it's an endorsement of the entire thing without further explanation. Do you understand? I see the letter as now further explanation. That's the clarity I thought he should have done in the beginning. And if he had done that, then I could be backing him 100%. Because if he's in his first tweet, he says, I'm retweeting this. I believe that black people were the original Jews because it's fact. This part of this documentary that has anti-Semitic tropes in it, I don't agree with. Brother, I'll be like, cool, you've been very clear with this. And if it is that he still get pulled, you know full well, they don't care about the fact that it is...
No one's never done
Let
that
me finish
before.
what I'm saying,
When there's
please.
other documentaries, when there's books, when there's movies, no one's never done that before. You're not promoting nothing with caveats. Like, oh, I love this song, but this song where he's talking about killing people, I've got nothing to do. No, you never expected this of anybody before.
Exactly.
You never expected this of anybody before.
Focus on just you and me. Wait, Yusuf, please. Just focus on you and me here. You've just said nobody has ever given clarity to stuff that they share online. Yes?
I mean, go on.
I don't even know where you got that statement from. I don't even know what that even means. You've now looked at parallel somebody retweeting an album with shoot 'em up lyrics in it, and you're saying, I don't know where you've looked to go down a rabbit hole
you're saying,
to basically explain something that doesn't exist.
Mark, that isn't the same thing.
Why is it not the
It is to
same?
me.
Wait.
You're saying
I
you're
only want you
saying
to
that he's
focus
you're
on
saying
this.
that you're saying that him posting.
Marks, I just want you to focus on what I am saying.
You're saying that him posting the video is endorsing the whole movie. That's what you're saying. It's not true.
Marks, I don't want to call you by government name, please.
Go on.
When we're having a discussion, I cannot operate when people start to deflect and divert to other things that I'm arguing about, or we are arguing about, because there's both of us here.
Okay.
We are focusing on Kyrie, right?
Yeah.
We already know his position. We already know his alliances, who he's in partnership with. All of these sports personalities in fact, some of them even have a manager to basically say what they can and can't post online. And you know that, right? They have quote unquote handlers, because some of them don't know what is right and what is wrong. Yes? So you've now, in this particular spirit of this climate, when Kanye is doing what he's doing and he's seeing what's happening, you've now retweeted something, yes, without giving clarity as to what it is that you believe in and what it is that you don't believe in pertaining to what you've sent. People are going to be wondering, why have you tweeted this? So they're going to go and look, yes? And in looking now, they're seeing all of this. The businesses in which it is that he's aligned with only thinks, oh my goodness, you're endorsing everything in there. Do you understand? Just look at it from a business point of view. You're endorsing everything in there without clarity.
It's just one person's opinion. Why do we only take one side's opinion of what's in there?
Who is one side? What are you talking about?
if you take someone else's side, the person who wrote the film, the person who made the film, probably does not agree that the stuff that's in it is anti-Semitic. We're just taking one people's side of it. You haven't got the information from what's in that film to judge your own thing. You're just taking their word for it. That everything in there so hateful.
The thing that he apologized
anti-Semitic.
for, and he stipulated what he apologized for. Are you saying that it isn't in the video?
I don't know. You have to watch
But
it.
you're painting Kyrie as an intelligent, articulate young man.
Yeah.
He has his wherewithals with him.
Yeah.
And you are saying you can't speak to whether it is he watched the video or not, because in him apologizing, you can't speak to whether he's apologizing for the things that are in the video.
What if
Then
he
why
agrees?
is he just typing stuff?
What if he agrees with everything in the video?
What did he apologize for?
Let me tell you what you apologize for, yeah?
His apology doesn't matter to me because it was at gunpoint. So whatever he said doesn't matter.
Go on, Emmanuel.
To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt, right? That are hurt and affected from my post. I'm deeply sorry to have caused you pain. I apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic, instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand fighting against anti-Semitism by apologizing for posting the documentary without context. One second, please. And a factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agreed with and disagreed with. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish cultural history regarding the Holocaust or perpetuate any hate. I'm learning from this unfortunate event and hope we can find understanding between us all. I'm no different than any other human being. I am a seeker of truth and knowledge, and I know who I am.
Do you think that's a nicely worded clarification of events?
Talk to me.
Yourself and Marx.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a nice thing, as in that's a decent human being who penned that?
Well, they had to pen it. They had to. He said what he wanted to say, yeah, and it didn't appease anybody. So when that last one, when it went through, that didn't just come off the top of his mane. Him and his team wrote something that is going to appease everybody. So whatever he spewed out there was definitely going to appease everybody. It needed to appease.
Yeah. So we can end it.
I'm not
so he's
disagreeing
just
with that.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't like whatever he said. It doesn't matter. They could have wrote that. Someone could have wrote that. It doesn't matter.
I am not disagreeing with that. You do realize that it's either you believe he wrote it or he didn't. Or when I say wrote it, as in, yes, put that out. I want to basically stand behind this. Which one is it? Do you believe he endorsed that message or he didn't? Which one is it?
Huh?
Do you believe he endorsed that message or he didn't? Which one is it?
Well, he put it out. He put it out, so he kind of was forced to endorse it.
And we can stop right there, because I like the fact that he's penned that, because it's very clear, and he's apologized for not being clear. It's not rocket science. He apologized for not being clear.
You see, you know the thing is, before we move on, again, obviously the room's going to be divided, innit? It's always going to be this way. I'm glad, obviously, we shifted the conversation from Kanye West, because obviously that is just doesn't make no sense, right? But on this Kyrie thing, in my humble estimation, I would have thought we would be much more aligned. The Kanye thing, to me, I get it. You know what I'm saying? White Lives Matter, I fully get it. But Kyrie, to me, I don't understand why black people are kind of trying to see it from the other perspective and trying to feel as though this guy hasn't been wronged, right? Again, I spoke about Charles Barkley. That man talking about he should be suspended before he was suspended. Shaq saying he's an idiot. Both of them calling him idiots. Stephen A., Shannon Sharp, all of these man talking about how crazy he is. We're all trying to make it seem as though this man's an idiot for posting a link. And after this, and this is one of... Sorry, one second. And this is one of the other things that is annoyed me to my core. Like I was saying to everybody before, even if you feel as though this guy went a bit too far with the posting of a link, I heard Charles Barkley talking about, he should be suspended because we've had guys use homophobic slurs and they got suspended. You're likening someone using a homophobic slur to him retweeting a link. These are the black people that are just useless to me, right? And on top of that, right, listen to, again, they gave him 6 points. They're demeaning this man. They're making him out to be a child. They're treating him like a slave. And for us to kind of try and justify, make it seem as though, you know what, he should have taken responsibility. Even though he said, I take responsibility, you're policing my words. You're trying to put words into my mouth. Say sorry, boy. Apologize, boy. Man's done it now. Then you're still saying, it's not enough. The 500k, run it back again, and there's 4 other points for you to have to complete. I have to go and sit down with the ADO. After this, yeah, listen to the 6th point. After completing 1 to 5, meet with the owner Joe site and lead franchise officials and demonstrate the lessons learned. What? He's a child. Demonstrate the lessons learned and the gravity of the harm caused in this situation, and that the gravity of the harm caused in this situation is understood, and provide assurances that this type of behavior will not be repeated. This is disgusting.
Let me be very clear.
This is disgusting.
Let
me be very clear.
Quickly, Brent, right?
Let me be very clear before you go on. Let me be very clear. What is being done to him is unjust.
Okay, cool.
Yes?
I think we all
Listen
agreed
to
on
what
that
I am
yesterday.
saying.
Cool.
My argument has been he is in partnership with a lot of private companies, right? He is an ambassador for these certain companies in which it is they have asked him to clarify what he has done. I have basically told you this is why this is happening. I am telling you, I'm walking you through why this is happening. Do you understand? Do you understand now?
Everyone's
Whether
clear.
it's just or unjust, I'm telling you, this is why it's happening.
Brent, everyone's clear about why it's happening, right? But it's continuing to happen. It's continuing.
When you say it's continuing to happen to Kyrie,
there's-
I don't understand what you're saying.
What I'm trying to say is the way they're treating him in the beginning, to me, right? Again, you are just saying this is the reason why it's occurring. Fine. I get it, right? Again, we understand that. My issue is, and this is what I'm making clear before and now, the additional things. Policing his words, right? Treating him like a child. Giving him 6-point program. To me, that sends a message to him and everybody else. And that's what my issue is in addition.
You are saying, and you are framing it like he's being treated like a child.
He
because
is.
this is what you are saying.
Yes, that's my opinion.
I am seeing it as the company has rules and regulations,
Fine.
and he's broken it. And they say, if you want to remain,
Yes.
do this thing.
Fine.
Remember, I told you yesterday, Mags, the same with any other corporation. If you breach something, there are steps that you have to follow in order to prove to them that you are reformed, in order for them to come back in. Same difference.
In every workplace.
Bloody hell.
I let the caller talk because
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
Bloody hell.
Sorry, look, caller. Good morning.
Hi, morning, guys.
Sorry, hon.
Yeah,
Who am I speaking to, please?
Yeah. My name's Demi.
One Demi.
How are you?
Yeah, morning, guys. How are you? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Just wanted to say the show's really good. Really enjoy it. I just wanted to just touch on a couple of points. I'm a bit confused by this Kyrie situation. I think especially with E-Man's points and Marv's points. My thing with this Kyrie stuff is, are you guys saying that he's not been anti-Semitic? Like, are you disagreeing that this act that obviously just retweeting a link, as you call it, hasn't been anti-Semitic? Because obviously I've not watched the full documentary, but I've seen kind of the bits that people are talking about that are anti-Semitic, and to my mind, those things look quite anti-Semitic to me. So are you arguing that that's one of my first points?
Yeah, what did you see
Sorry?
that was anti-Semitic?
What did you see?
So for instance, someone shared some of the screenshots from the documentary talking about the Jews. They're saying the Jews are the current Jews are devil worshippers. They're not the true proponents of the religion. These people. There's also about Holocaust denial, saying the Holocaust never actually happened. So stuff like that would be regularly normal things that I would think are pretty anti-Semitic. I don't know if you guys disagree with that. First of all.
I think you guys answer his first question.
Yes.
That would help.
Okay, as in, do I think he was being anti-Semitic? No, I don't.
Is that the question you asked him?
So
That's the first question, yeah.
No. So that's the first question I'm trying to ask. So basically, you don't think that Holocaust denial or saying that the Jews right now are devil worshippers, stuff like that, isn't anti-Semitic?
I never heard Kyrie say that the Holocaust is.
So he didn't say that.
He didn't say, but he's just asking. Do you believe that
people
saying
are saying
the ideology is anti-Semitic? Do you agree that people denying that and all that ideology is anti-Semitic?
I mean, I can understand why you would say that. Yeah, I can understand that. But
yes, you do.
exactly.
So yes, you do believe it's anti-Semitic.
I remember, anti-Semitic means different things to different people. But in terms of the narrative,
absolutely, but in this context,
okay,
I'm trying to be objective.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but I just want to be clear.
The point that I'm raising,
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so the point I'm raising is that Holocaust denial and calling the current Jews, whether or not you believe they are the true Jews, calling them, like, saying their religion is devil worship and so on, that objectively, is that anti-Semitic or not? Because then if it is, this then opens up the question of, we're saying that he just retweeted a link. Let's make an analogy here. For instance, a white person on their personal social media retweets a link that says a bunch of stuff about, I don't know, the history of Britain and how much they love Britain. However, there's a bunch of stuff just in the side of this video or this documentary that says black people are monkeys and blah, 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 and they're not human. But the main message of this documentary that or video they've retweeted is they're proud of the history.
Sorry, they're proud
I
of the
don't know
history.
about you. Yeah, so the main message of this documentary this white person has retweeted is, I love Britain, I'm proud of my history, but then the side note is black people are monkeys and they're not human. Like, there are messages in there. I don't know about you, but I would look at that person as a racist because they're literally promoting something that is talking about, regardless of whatever else is in the documentary, you are promoting something that's talking, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
That's talking negatively about black people. I would see you as a racist. I think, would you agree that someone that retweeted such a video that I'm talking about, would you see them as racist?
Demi, I fully get what you're saying, 100%.
Yeah.
The issue is, however, right, and this is the point I think I'm making, I think Mark is making too. The issue was, obviously, in the beginning, he didn't clarify, right? I'm taking a position initially believing this man is not a hate guy. He doesn't hate Jews. And he doesn't mean to be anti-Semitic. Can we be things that we don't mean to be? Sometimes, yes, unknowingly, 100%. But then, he was asked, are you anti-Semitic? And he said, no, I'm not. Then he also said in the same interview, I take full responsibility for my actions, for me tweeting this. To me...
Okay, Eman. So...
Okay, go on.
Yeah, go on.
No, go on.
So the thing I would say to that is, I think that is complete nonsense. And the reason I'll say that is complete nonsense is because, again, I'm linking it to the racism issue. If there was somebody that has done the racist thing that I just described to you, if someone then goes to them and asks them for an explanation, and what they say is essentially what Kyrie said, which is, I take responsibility, which, again, what exactly are you taking responsibility for? It wasn't clear at all in that video that he released.
Yeah.
And then he also said, and he categorically said, I'm not racist. For instance, the person that says, I'm not racist, I've got black friends, or Kyrie says, I'm not anti-Semitic, I know who I am, or whatever nonsense that means.
But Demi, sorry, Demi, to cut you, right? Sorry, in fact, continue.
Yeah, so for instance, if someone's to say, I'm not racist, I've got black friends, or I'm not racist, but my great granddad is black, that's nonsense to me. If you are promoting racist messages, if you're promoting like hateful messages toward black people, I literally don't care what your justification is or what your reasoning is. You are a racist to me. So I don't see why the Jewish people should kind of accept this like weak, pathetic apology. And this is the thing, whether you choose to clarify or not, if you're promoting a message that calls black people monkeys, I don't care what you have to say. Like, whether you choose to clarify or not, you can clarify as much as you like. You're a racist to me. That's a fact. Like, until you categorically say, I didn't see those messages, I don't support those messages, that's a different story. But if you're sharing something like that, to me, you're already a racist. And I think most black people would agree. So I don't know why we're not allowing the Jews to also have that viewpoint with this, because logically that makes sense.
Again, bro, on the surface level, I agree with you, yeah? I understand where you're coming from. But I think when you conflate the plights of the people as well and put things into perspective, I think you should arrive at a different result. And this is why... One sec here. This is why I think what Kyrie did in the interview was good, because he then went on to explain why it is that he felt the way he felt. This is why he said about the whole, I hope you guys have the same energy. Where was you when I was a child, having no identity? You can't compare the plight of Jewish people with black people in America. You can't. It's not the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Your principles, I understand your principles, right? But when you put the context to it, I can't meet you at the same endpoint. I can't.
I completely agree with that. And I think to say, so basically I did say I had 2 points.
Okay.
So my first point was to deal with the anti-Semitism issue and whether you believe this is anti-Semitic. So from what you're saying, I can see that you do believe the action itself can be suggested to be anti-Semitic potentially, based on the analogy I gave. That's what I'm taking.
Yeah.
So that was my first point. And then my second point does talk about what you're saying now, which is the plight of black people in America. And again, I kind of take issue with this whole, and this is where it draws me into this whole like Black Israelite discussion a bit further, which is that I do kind of take issue with this whole thing as a concept, in the sense of like, fair enough, maybe the first, I have no proof whether or not the first Jews were black people, or whether there are lost tribes that were originally Jews and so on and so forth. However, I think right now, being Jewish is an identity. There are plenty of African identities that exist that people are from, that people are proud of, that already exist. I just feel like this whole Black Israelite thing, I just feel like this whole Black Israelite thing is just anti-Black to me. Like, it's super anti-Black, it's anti-African. No, and I think it's generally anti-African in the sense that it's like we're just so badly longing for another identity that is already glorified because I don't want to be offensive, but how best do I put this? I feel like a lot of I feel like a lot of African American people, because, you know, there's that issue of a lack of identity and so on, like they're trying to grasp onto things that, like, you know, there's a bunch of them that think that maybe they're Native Americans or think they're this, think they're that, trying to grasp onto identities that seem a little bit more glorified in the wider context because they're maybe almost scared of being African. And I think there's the point where it's like claiming this identity and obviously rejecting well-established history that most Black Americans came from West Africa. Just rejecting that established history, to me, is just super anti-Black. And I don't understand why even if the first Black people were Jews, we have our own identities, we have our own cultures. Like, for instance, I'm Nigerian, I'm Yoruba. Like, we have proud, long histories and lineages of cultures throughout Africa. Like, we're just co-opting this thing because ultimately I think it's because a lot of these people have hate for the Black identity, for the African identity, and I think that's what it's about. So even then, to then support this thing, regardless, is anti-Black thing. So it doesn't, like, the whole thing doesn't make sense. Like, it falls down then when you're talking about your plight, because it doesn't make sense. It's completely anti-African, and it's just a completely nonsense concept to me. Even if there are some subsections of Black people that, let's say, were Jewish or originally Jewish, that's not the identity of most Black people, and that's I don't know why we're trying to co-opt that.
No, you know what?
Sorry, Manuel. The first Black person or people weren't Jews. It's the first Jews were Black. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So just to clarify that. Go on.
Thank you for that. What was I going to say?
It's the best caller we've ever had.
You know, 100%.
I don't know about that if you agree with me.
No. I've always said it. I don't need to agree with somebody fully. You know what I'm saying? But I could tell he's listening. No shade to anybody else. But
it's too
he's
late.
listening and he's saying his point. I can agree with him. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I can sit down and chat to him. 100%. Anyway, second point. I fully get what you're saying, yeah? And this is kind of what Brent said to me the other day when he was talking about there's talk that Yoruba people came from Israel potentially, or Kemet, or South Sudan, right? And I said to him, I don't care about that, because there came a point where we decided we are Yoruba people. That's what matters to me. But remember, I know my lineage. So do you. There are people in America who have been displaced and were slaves for 400 plus years. You know what I'm saying? It's completely different.
No, and I get that, and I'm not saying that's like and I completely understand. And that's why I do empathize with like African Americans, because there's a bunch of like things that they're not sure about. But what we are sure about, there is recorded history. Like, this is just willful ignorance to me. Like, there's recorded history that you came from West Africa. Most of you, obviously, you can't trace it exactly to the exact tribe and so on and so forth. But there's a general thing that we know where you came from. But you're essentially ashamed of your history being slavery. Like, you can look up the ADOS movement and all these foundational Black Americans. Like, it's essentially just they're scared of being African and they want something else. Like, that's how I see it anyway. And that's why I think this whole Black Israelite movement is anti-Black. So regardless, I'm never going to support it. And I think that's the point. So I feel like ultimately, regardless of, so he was anti-Semitic first of all, and then second of all, anti-Semitic to the point to support a bogus ideology to kind of feign this like pretend intelligence that I think he's displaying, like these kind of, when he does interviews as well, like with these rhetorical answers that don't make sense. And I think that's why Shaq and Charles Barkley, sorry, not Niles Barkley, were right to call him stupid, because his points are like half-baked, stuff like, I know who, like, his points are half-baked, trying to like appear intelligent on TV just to promote this dodgy ideology. And it's all
No,
and
you're just an
he's
enemy.
got a
You
track
let the
record of
media,
conspiracy.
you let the white man get to you, and now you're forming opinions
I
on
don't
kind of
personally.
Don't let him draw you up, Demi.
Big up Demi,
Don't let him draw you
It's not
up.
fair.
You're a collaborator, man. You're a collaborator. You're a colonizer sympathizer. I can hear, man. Cut the wire. Cut the line.
They can't get a black Yoruba Nigerian man down.
The thing is, I don't think anyone here
because I think I do understand ultimately that the it's not about the media doing whatever. Like the media didn't tell me to be proud of being Yoruba. The media didn't tell me to read my history. So I know history of black people fairly well. Obviously, I'm not a scholar or whatever, but I'm just a normal average guy. So from that perspective, from what I know, I can categorically say that the facts of the matter of where black people in America came from, where a lot of black people came from, isn't this lineage. That there might be some very small, minute groups, but I think the issue is he tried to portray that this is what black people, this is the history of black people, and I think that's where the issue is. Like you can say that there is a history of some small subsections of black people that kind of created this Jewish identity, blah, and so on and so forth. But it's almost trying to kind of equate being black with being Jewish, which then is just a complete lie and a falsehood. So from that point of view, it's completely stupid. So,
but Demi, again, I appreciate your call, man. But I wouldn't be fair to Kyrie and other people if I didn't challenge you on that. Just a tiny bit here before we move on, yeah? Because 100% African Americans came from West Africa. But you do have to look at migrational patterns. You have to look at certain, the history is there. Like, there are people who talk about the Igbo tribe, for example, and bear them having Jewish practices, right? They talk about the Lemba tribe as well, having Jewish practices. These are people in their oral traditions say they came from Israel. They came from that particular area known as Israel today, right? We can see certain correlations in the language of for example, maybe the Akan and Egypt, for example, or Yoruba and Egypt, or Yoruba and Israel. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but I'm saying there are scholars who do say that. So to kind of rubbish it, I don't think it's entirely fair. You know what I'm saying? Because again, even in the history of Israel, when you look at the various exiles that they faced, we saw that some of them moved into Africa. And I get what you're saying. Yes, some of them did. I heard you, but I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that the entire plight is basically bogus. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I would say to you. But I fully get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think I was just being a bit facetious.
I found out yesterday
Yeah.
that Kyrie, he associated with Native Americans. I found that out yesterday.
Yeah.
That he claims that he's a Native American.
Mm-hmm.
If he's got a Native American and history, what does that mean?
And this is what
Sorry,
this is
brother.
what I'm saying.
He's just grabbing
This
some
is ridiculous.
Huh?
I can't be back him, sorry.
What do you mean? He's a man of the world.
Sorry.
Oh, what kind of
Not a
racism
man of the
is
world.
it? Huh?
You collaborator.
You sound,
No, but Brent-
you're going in dangerous territory. I don't understand. So you was cool with Kyrie, and now you find out he's got Native American in him. You don't like him anymore.
Which one is he basically pinning
What
his
are
last
you
name?
saying? here?
Which one is he
What
pinning his
are
last
you?
name?
This is
When I
dangerous
found out that
territory that you are
He
walking
is
down.
claiming, focus on me.
This is dangerous territory you're walking down.
Focus on me.
You was fine. You thought he was cool, and then now you found out he's
I
got
thought
Native
he was
American in him.
I thought he was cool.
There's an issue here.
I thought he was cool.
Because this is,
I thought he was cool.
I'm just saying.
If he's
you're
saying
acting
that
like
he's
you're
native-
captors.
if
You're
he's
acting-
saying
you're
that he's
act-
Native
You are
American-
acting like you're captors.
If he's
It's
saying that he's
scary.
Native American,
I'm
they
just
have
saying,
their own thing.
Stockholm,
You realize that, right?
Stockholm
Are
syndrome.
you, wait, Emmanuel, let me ask you a question.
They got Stockholm syndrome.
If
innit?
a man says he's Native American,
Yes.
is he claiming that he's part of the black community?
His
Sorry,
mom
sorry,
is
sorry,
part
if-
Native
if
American or something
I
like that.
ask Emmanuel a question,
Are
please.
you saying, Brent, if a black person says that, right? Just to clarify.
If Kyrie says this.
Okay, yes. Say that again. So if Kyrie's saying he's part, he's
No,
Native
no,
American.
he said he's Native American.
Is he also saying he's part of the black
You
community?
guys told me
Yes,
this
he is
yesterday.
saying he's black.
You
Yes,
guys
he is
told me
saying
this
he's black.
yesterday.
No, but just say the question again.
He's got Native American in him, and he went and done some research on his Native American roots. I don't know whether it's one of his grandparents or something like this.
You all
What's the
told me that he
problem?
claimed it.
What do you mean he claimed
He
it?
said he's now, and he changed his name to Chief what?
What? I never told you this.
Are you making this
You're
up?
not,
man?
you guys are gaslighting me now.
No,
Chief
the
what?
chief
You
what?
guys are
Ben?
gaslighting me
chief-
now.
wait, okay.
This is terrible
One
stuff.
second. To
I have
chief
no way to
what?
prove this.
Ben,
I have
you're
no
a
way to prove that you
terrorist.
guys
To
told me
chief, to
this.
chief what?
I have no
What
way
did
to
he
prove that
change
you
his
guys
name
told me
to?
this. You guys are ridiculous.
Chief Blackfoot. What is
You
it,
guys
Ben?
are ridiculous.
No, okay, Ben.
Answer the question.
Your question is, if Kyrie says he's Native American,
Yeah, and he claims it.
yeah, is he what? Is
As
he
in
also
identifies as Native American.
is he also part of the black community?
Is he now part of the black community? Because remember, they have their own community. Completely.
Yeah, okay.
And
What
their own plights, their own ideologies.
what I'll
Right.
say to you is yes and no, and the reason why, yeah,
Oops.
I will say to you yes and no, because there are black people who say, again, we as black people are indigenous to every part of this planet, and so the Native American people are black people. You know what I'm saying? So if he's saying I'm Native American, he can also say
So,
I'm black.
okay. In saying that, is
Mm-hmm.
he also saying that all Native Americans are black?
I don't think he's saying that, Fred. But I think he's talking
my
about
head,
indigenous
the
to
world,
America.
The world basically sees them as a separate community, right? They have their own police, their own governance.
But this is
stuff,
but this
right?
but this is
They've
part of
been
the
given
struggle.
their
Bro.
own land.
Yes,
right?
but this is part of the struggle that some, as in the Johnny Come Latelys, are being treated as the Native Americans who came after. But if you look at the history, black people were there first, and we are indigenous to America.
Oh, so he has
That's
a
part
fight
of the-
with Native Americans.
I'm not
also.
saying
So
him
he has a
personally,
fight
Brett.
with the Jews.
I'm not saying personally.
He
I'm
has
not
a fight
saying.
with the Jews, and he's now claiming
Yeah, sorry guys, I just got
Jeez.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
just got
thank
to
you.
jump
Yeah,
off the,
thank you, Demi, for
Yeah,
calling.
thank
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I just wanted to say black people will be proud of your African history. That's my main
100%.
message here. Is that let's stop hiding behind Native American and Jewish and all this and all
Yes.
that. Let's just be proud of your African identity and be
That's
who you
right,
are.
that's
So,
right.
Yeah, cool.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
nice
much.
day.
Pick yourself
Demi.
up, Demi. Man. Thank you for the call,
yeah,
man.
appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Right. You're a man.
That was a headline.
It was a.
Wait, have we even done the headlines?
We haven't even done Word on Road.
Kai.
I'm bruised. Is it too late to take out something? Anyway, whatever.
Whatever you do, just don't take out the Kyrie thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Now. I'm not even being funny. Yeah. When I do Word on Road, like I want silence. Thank you. Norway princess. I can't believe it. I can't actually believe it. All right, so the Norway princess has basically quit her royal duties for alternative medicine. Sorry, 1 second. So Norway's princess Martha Louise has relinquished her royal duties to focus on her alternative medicine business with her fiancé, a self-styled shaman. Shaman? Yeah.
Shaman.
Oh, sorry.
Shaman. Okay. Yeah, thank you. The princess will keep her title, but is surrendering official duties to create a clearer dividing line between her private and royal role. Her fiancé, Durek Verret, has allegedly promoted unfounded medical practices, including suggesting cancer is a choice. He also claims to have influenced Gwyneth Paltrow. The palace said in a statement that Princess Martha Louise is relinquishing her patronage role as she and Mr. Verret seek to distinguish more clearly between the activities and the Royal House of Norway. It added that King Harald V had decided she would keep her title as she performed her duties with warmth, care, and deep commitment. Despite the announcement, King Harald described Mr. Verret as a great guy and very funny to be with. King Harald told the Norwegian reporters, "He has a lot of humour and we laugh a lot, even in this difficult time. I think both we and he have gained a greater understanding of what this is about, and we've agreed to disagree." In a separate statement, Princess Martha Louise said she was aware of the importance of research-based knowledge, but that she believed alternative medicine can be an important supplement to help from the conventional medical establishment. She added that it was important to distinguish between myself as a private person on the one hand and as a member of the royal family on the other. The princess, who's age 51, has attracted controversy in Norway for decades for her involvement in alternative treatments, including starting a school that aimed to help people get in touch with their angels. She has been accused of using her royal title for competitive gain. All right, well, let's get into Word on Road. Of course, as there would be for Takeoff's funeral, there isn't really much details about it, whether it's going to be private or like public or anything like that. But the only thing that has come out so far is that it's been speculated that Justin Bieber will be performing at the funeral. So not really much public receipts anyway that he and Takeoff were like close or anything like that. But obviously he's got a song with Quavo and he's got a song with Quavo and maybe Migos as well, I think. But yeah, so he's going to be performing at the funeral, and he hasn't like posted anything either. So maybe that's his way of kind of the ultimate tribute, basically, to pay his respects to Takeoff. I still can't believe that sometimes, you know. I randomly remember and I'm thinking that's wild. But yeah, so he'll be performing, and then I'll keep an eye on other details that come out about the funeral and if it will be a public thing or kind of private. I wonder how they're gonna do actually. Because I feel like recently we've had a lot of like funerals where they would do like something very private, but then they'll do something like where the fans can be involved, like a ceremony or something.
No, I read this is open.
It's an open one.
It's open, yeah. You can get tickets.
Okay.
It's gonna be at I think it's the ATL State Farm Arena, I believe.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah.
Right,
Tickets.
Tickets, yeah. Free. No, they're free tickets.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were gonna. Even if they charge for
just
it.
to get attendance, because obviously there's a capacity in it.
Can you live stream?
I don't know.
Yeah, they should do a live stream. Because what the people that don't I've listened to Migos 5 years in a row wireless. I need a live stream link.
Go to the funeral.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna watch it though because it's a bit triggering. What's this?
Funeral's not something I'd intentionally.
Yeah, it's a bit triggering. Yeah. But I just mean like I'd think that they know that they have fans all over the world.
Yeah.
So I think they do a live stream. I mean, Nipsey had a live stream. Did Kobe as well? I can't remember. Kobe's one.
Live?
No, if it was a live stream to the ceremony when everyone was giving their speeches, isn't it?
Yeah, not to like the burial ground.
No.
Oh no, I don't want to see that. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see anyway. I'll keep an eye on all of that stuff. But still on Justin Bieber. So Judge Judy, I absolutely adore that woman. She's a top babe. But anyways, so she recently had an interview with Access Hollywood, and she was talking about how Justin Bieber was her neighbor at one point, and this was during his wayward days where he got a DUI. This is back in 2014. So DUI is what you get in America when you drink drive, and she was basically saying how he used to avoid her, and he was embarrassed to be around her. But then around the time, she actually spoke on the situation. And she said, being a celebrity is a gift. This was back in 2014, by the way. She said, being a celebrity is a gift. You could either treat it reverently or you could make a fool out of yourself. And he's doing a very good job of making a fool out of himself. I think it's sad. Nobody's going to remember that he was a marginal singer, but they're going to remember a young kid who had a chance to have it all and who was blowing it by acting like a fool. Yeah, so this is what she said back in 2014 when he was literally acting a fool out in the streets. But so it's and she was saying how basically he paid staff basically to let him know when to avoid so they never would cross paths. But I love that. I love when certain like older people in the society command that level of respect where you'll be shy for yourself if you did see Judy, especially because you committed a crime. Actually, it's different because she's a lawyer, innit? Yeah, but yeah, so she talked about that. And I just thought it was a very funny story to report. But obviously, as with Justin Bieber, he's turned his life around. He's a Christian. He's married as well. He's living his best life. And one of the things that makes the Takeoff thing interesting as well is because he actually postponed. His tour was next year. Yeah. I think it was a world tour. I remember my sister got tickets for it. But he postponed it so he could focus on his mental health. And I don't know if you guys remember when I reported that he had... he's got a medical condition where I think half his face was paralyzed or something that was going on. So I think that's one of the things that makes the Takeoff thing even more special because he's basically coming out of his hibernation to do that performance for the funeral. But yeah, I just thought that was a bit of something interesting. And then my next bit of news is about Amazon, which is where I need silence from certain individuals, know yourselves. But basically, one of our callers, I think it was Proverbs yesterday, mentioned how we're talking about Amazon and, Amazon should take it off and blah, blah. They should either take off the film or, put a disclaimer on there. But actually, they are facing a lot of pressure to either take it down or put a disclaimer on. And that's because the sales have gone up. Apparently, it's like the sales have really, really gone up. It's become a bestseller.
Yeah,
all right.
Too.
I definitely said I wanted silence, but okay. We can't follow rules in this place.
Sorry, Esther.
But yeah, you're not sorry. You can do something else. But yeah, so this is the situation with Amazon at the moment. And then the Anti-Defamation League, they basically wrote to Amazon, and in the letter, part of what they said was the book and the film are designed to inflame hatred, and now that it was popularized by Mr. Irving, will lead directly to the harm of Jews. They're outright anti-Semitic. I definitely said silence in this room. Thank you very much.
I don't know why you guys are huffing and puffing.
I don't get it. I don't understand it.
It should be clear.
I don't. No, it's
The
not.
language, that is very dangerous language.
Very dangerous language.
I'm going to carry on reading. I don't like being interrupted. I don't think you should silence black women on this platform.
Amen.
Sorry.
They're outright anti-Semitic hate. They amplify long-standing anti-Semitic tropes about Jewish power, greed, and claims that Jews control the media. Effectively combating anti-Semitism requires corporate leaders to recognize what anti-Semitism is and take firm action to confront it. Amid the controversy surrounding Kyrie Irving's sharing of the film filled with anti-Semitic tropes and Holocaust denials, it is critical that Amazon act quickly to remove this blatantly hateful material. So we'll see if they put a disclaimer on there, as has been suggested, or if they take it down. And then my last bit of news is about, do you know, I actually had something else I forgot to put in the ticker, but I'll talk about it tomorrow because it's also another man that was moving mad. I just don't want to rile these guys up. But yeah, it was about Drake and 21 Savage being sued, but I'll talk about it more tomorrow. But so the last bit of news about Julia Fox and Kanye's hero, Kanye. No, E-Man's hero, Kanye. So basically, I don't know if you guys remember when she briefly dated Kanye while he was during his, what's it called? His divorce or whatever. And so she's basically saying that dating Kanye has affected her job roles. I don't remember seeing this woman. And a lot of people agree with me because it was a whole narrative online. I don't remember seeing her, before she started dating Kanye. And then when I saw her, all she ever wore was crop top. She was an interesting character. But anyway, so she said it's affected her jobs now, and being with him, she's not getting as many offers as she was before dating him. So in a podcast, she said, after the big relationship, I definitely noticed a shift in the acting way, not in a good way. I'm not getting as many offers as I was before. Weirdly, there's been a lot of weird drawbacks with reaching that level of notoriety. She said it's fine, she's busy and, things will come to her at the right time. So she's not really stressing about it too much. But yeah, I guess it was just something that she had to let us know. But really and truly, with all of that anyway, all that being said, there's just one simple thing. When you do clownery...
She's definitely in Uncut Gems, Rebecca.
She's what?
Sorry.
Julia?
Yeah, she's in Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched that. I don't even know what that is.
It's Adam Sandler.
But that was kind of old though.
Couple years maybe, 2-3 years.
That was before Kanye.
That was the first time we saw her, I think. Well, one of the first times we would have been. That was one of the biggest things.
Her biggest roles.
And she got back when she came out the cupboard in the lingerie. She got a little cake on her. That's what blew her up. I think that's why Kanye wanted her.
Alrighty.
Just give me the inside scoop.
Thank you for that. Thank you. But when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite. She knew what she was doing when she was dating Kanye. So this is how the chips fall. But yeah, let's get into the People's Journal.
Welcome to the People's Journal. I'll give you the news from an economics point of view. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about, I'm going to keep this nice and short. Recently, I've been speaking about how people on prepaid meters are kind of, the prepayment meters and how they need to claim vouchers and things of that nature, and everyone's, entitled to this discount from the government. But what has emerged is that there's a rising number of households that are having their energy smart meters remotely switched to prepayment meters. This is where energy regulators come out to basically say, they've said that energy firms have used that technology to swap customers who are in debt to the more costly plan without even needing a warrant. So Ofgem have come out and they basically said they've received these reports that vulnerable customers, because of this, are being left without power for days or even weeks. There's one lady that the BBC was chatting to, she's from South London. It affected her. She basically just said, I suddenly only had £3 of my electric until payday. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
That's mad.
Yeah, it's crazy. And this is done remotely, So all of a sudden you're just waking up and realizing that everything's just changed on you, right? Basically, once the smart meter is installed, it's a much simpler process for a supplier to swap the customer into prepay mode at the push of a button, rather than having to apply for a warrant and to come and install a physical box. So people need to really check what's going on with their situation. Obviously, right now, probably now more than ever, a lot of people are going to be in debt in terms of, with their energy and electricity. I think it's important that people make sure they haven't been switched over to this wickedness, basically. And basically, contact your providers and make sure you're not one of those in this particular situation. So just to give a bit more context to the story with this lady from South London, she was a direct debit customer with EDF. Her what do you call it? Her bills more than doubled from £200 a month to more than £430. She works part-time. She receives universal credit. All of a sudden now, she's realised, like I said, £3 left on her prepayment thing, and she's £1,000 in debt. So she was calling EDF on and off since January to try and sort it out. Obviously contacted Ofgem. Other people have contacted Ofgem, and they've realised that these people are doing some backdoor shenanigans to basically mess people up. And to think that it's happening at a time like this, right, is pretty much disgusting, man. Can't side with these people at all. But yeah, so just a quick message to everybody. Sorry, people. Yeah, please double check your tariffs and stuff and make sure you haven't been switched over without your consent. The next thing I want to chat about, which I spoke about yesterday, I believe, was about MAID. Remember I was saying they're going into administration, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they pretty much gone into administration. It's all confirmed. And there's going to be a loss of up to 500 jobs. Yeah, man. Next, like I said, we were looking to bid for it. They haven't bought it yet, but they are in the process of buying it. And they're going to be have ownership of the brand's name, the website, intellectual property, all of that type of stuff. They bought it for 3.4 million, which doesn't seem too expensive.
So they can give people money then, the people that they laid off.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, potentially.
That'd be good.
Yeah. I think they're still trying to sort out the whole issue with remember the refunds, and if you're going to get your money back on.
There's no if. If I pay for something and you're not offering me that service or goods, I will get my money back.
Yeah.
You want to call their bank.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Call your bank.
That's why they say pay for everything on credit cards, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's a bit easier to claim that way. But yeah, unfortunately, that's the situation with Made.com, and hopefully, if you have been affected, you can kind of chase that up. Obviously, probably will take some time because they're still going through the process, as we speak. But you should kind of know where you are. Also, I spoke about the nurses going on strike. RCN, which is the union, which is the Royal College of Nursing, they represent hundreds of thousands of nurses in the UK, and they're set to announce the results of its strike ballot on Wednesday, right? So today. So remember, they gave them the options to vote for this particular strike. I think it was last week. Results are in, and they're going to let the world know, basically. And we're going to see if the nurses will actually walk out. Remember, this is the first UK-wide strike by that particular union in 106 years.
That's mad.
Yeah. First time ever, right? They called for a rise of 5% above the RPI inflation rate, which currently stands at 12%. So they're asking for 17%, effectively. No UK nation has offered close to that. No particular union, nothing has offered close to that. But obviously, I'm seeing it as just a way to kind of meet somewhere in the middle and at least get RPI. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, if you start RPI, you ain't going to get 12%. That. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's a good strategy, man. And to be fair, again, it feels obviously harsh because obviously people's lives are at stake. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the reason why they didn't give them money.
You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, effectively, you're taking advantage of these people. And we know the NHS, the staff, they're overworked, man. There's no doctor I've ever spoken to that doesn't talk about, complain about being overworked. You know what I'm saying? Affecting their family life and all of that type of stuff as well. So hopefully they can rectify this and give them what they need so that they don't go on strike. And the last thing I want to talk about is a bit of crypto. So FTX basically is one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges. And there was basically a near collapse. Yeah, so... sorry.
What? I got money on there.
FTX. Yeah. So basically on Tuesday what they're saying is FTX struck... Huh?
Because they had money on
Shit.
Well,
me, man.
It's near collapse, right? So they were rocked by it. On Tuesday yesterday, they struck a bailout deal with a larger rival, which is Binance. So Binance are basically killing it right now. I feel like, but they're the biggest, right?
Binance? It's one of?
I think they're the biggest now, you know. Okay. Yeah. Because they're definitely bigger than Coinbase and that, isn't it? Or no?
Let me check.
Sorry about this, people.
People are trying to champion. You need some cow foot. They said.
I need to sell my coin. I need to sell whatever I got. There's probably nothing even there. When I checked, there's probably nothing there at all. It's probably all gone. But whatever's there, even if it's $100, I'm taking it. I need to take it out.
But the thing is, because FTX are kind of big, and the fact that Binance wouldn't buy them, they're probably all right, you know. Probably all right, man. Binance has agreed to buy it.
Yeah, Binance is the biggest.
Yeah. They've agreed to buy it. So, yeah. at the moment, there's not like loads of information on it. But yeah, like I said, Binance have agreed to buy it, pending the whole due diligence and everything, make sure everything's cool, the books are okay. Yeah, so hopefully they should be able to rectify that whole situation. Concerns about FTX's financial health reportedly triggered $6 billion of withdrawals in just 3 days. So yes, a lot of people who had their money in FTX took their P's out, man. $6 billion in just 3 days. But yeah, hopefully at least Binance can rectify it or FTX can rectify it. Yeah, and if there's more information, I'll bring it to the people. But yeah, that's it for the People's Journal.
Nice. Well, it's Wellness Wednesday, so let's breeze through this wellness stuff.
Make me better. And make us better in the room.
I hope so.
Yes. But can we have some Kumbaya music? Thank you. But sorry, Esther, the experience is better with the headphones on.
You knew damn right I was not gonna do it. I'll give you this. I can do one.
All right, thank you. Again, people, if you know who said these powerful quotes, say it in the chat. All right, cool. So, chance has never yet satisfied the hope of a suffering people. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self and the future has been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom. I'm gonna say it again. Chance has never yet satisfied the hope of a suffering people. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self and the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom. Self-reliance. Next quote. Before we can properly help the people, we have to destroy the old education that teaches them that somebody is keeping them back and that God has forgotten them and that they can't rise because of their color. We can only build with faith in ourselves and with self-reliance, believing in our own possibilities, that we can rise to the highest of God's creation. Say that again. Before we can properly help the people, we have to destroy the old education that teaches them that somebody is keeping them back and that God has forgotten them and that they can't rise because of their color. We can only build with faith in ourselves and with self-reliance, believing in our own possibilities, that we can rise to the highest in God's creation. And the last quote is, there's a world of opportunities awaiting us, and it is for us through unity of will and of purpose to say we shall and we will play our part upon the great human stage of activity. Again, highlighting, you gotta do it for yourself, man. There's a world of opportunities awaiting us, and it is for us through the unity and will of purpose to say we shall and we will play our part upon the great human stage of activity.
Aristotle?
No, by the great, honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey.
I was close.
All right, let's get into our last headlines for today. Jimmy drinking cold water if your throat is tickling you like that.
Yeah, but I couldn't go and get the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just went out. You could ask me for hot water.
I didn't even see it, you know.
Why do you say hot like that? All right, so university staff are going on strike this month. University lecturers and other staff across the UK will strike this month over pay, pensions and working conditions, the University and College Union UCU has said. Strikes will take place on the 24th, 25th and 30th of November at 150 universities. The UCU claims 70,000 staff members will strike. Universities say they are well prepared to protect students' education. Students, some of whom have supported previous strike action by university staff, could face lectures being cancelled or rearranged. Staff will also start industrial action short of a strike from 23rd of November, UCU said, which could include things like refusing to cover for absent colleagues. The walkouts are partly over pensions, a dispute that, having rumbled on for nearly a decade, was reignited by what the UCU called a flawed valuation of the university's superannuation scheme, USS, a pension fund used by university staff. And they are partly overpay. A 3%, as in the strike, the walkout is partly overpay as well. A 3% pay increase was proposed for staff this academic year, with 9% for those on the lowest pay grades. But UCU members want a pay rise to take the rising cost of living into account, much like unions in other sectors that have pushed for strike action in recent months. And then the next bit is a trigger warning. It's about Archie Battersbee and the coroner, basically the coroner update. So a coroner has said he has seen no evidence that Archie Battersbee was taking part in an online challenge when he fatally injured himself. Archie, 12... Your legs are long, you know.
Oh, sorry.
So I was thinking, what is...
I'm 6 foot plus.
You respect, if I felt I said, I don't know his legs.
Was you playing footsie with me?
No, I was not. Don't put that out there in my market. Your legs are, you've got proper long limb. You really are 6 foot. Wow, okay. Really love to name. Okay. Anyways. Sorry, guys, start again. A coroner has said he has seen no evidence that Archie Battersbee was taking part in an online challenge when he fatally injured himself. Archie, who's 12, from Southend, died when his life support was withdrawn following his parents' legal battle with the NHS hospital treating him. His mother has said she believed he was injured in an online challenge. A pre-inquest review heard Essex police had found messages on his phone reflecting a very low mood. A full inquest is to be held in Chelmsford on the 7th of February. In April, Holly Downs found her son unconscious at home, and he spent most of the next 4 months being treated at the Royal London Hospital in East London, run by Bart's NHS Health Trust. Archie died on 6th of August when life support was withdrawn after a number of courts agreed with doctors that stopping treatment was in Archie's best interest. Ms. Dance had contacted Essex Police as she was concerned there was an online challenge going round and other young people could be at risk, the hearing heard. Detective Inspector Sarah Weeks said the force downloaded information from Archie's phone on 13th of June. She said there was no evidence of him filming any video on the day he was injured, and no photographs or videos to suggest he was taking part in an online challenge. In a further update following a full forensic download of the phone, Detective Inspector Weeks said there are a series of messages which reflect Archie's mood. This has only been received this morning, so we will look to prepare a full report. The coroner said it's low mood we're looking at here, very low mood. He said a lot, didn't he? All right, guys, let's get into the reaction, our sports headlines. Can't get this stuff.
Welcome to our favourite part of the show. Not a lot of football headlines. I know that saddens you, Esther.
Very.
But there's other stuff going on in the world of sport. So our first headline says, Seb Platters says hosting the World Cup in Qatar was a mistake. It's kind of football, but it's not.
Okay, crosses over.
Well, former FIFA president Seb Platters says the decision to award the 2022 World Cup to Qatar was a mistake.
Boy.
Blatter, 86, was president of the world's football governing body when Qatar was awarded the tournament in 2010. The Gulf state had been criticised for its stance on same-sex relationships, human rights record, and treatment of migrant workers, because a lot of them died building the stadiums.
Really?
Crazy condition. Crazy thing.
Nice.
Qatar World Cup ambassador Khalid Salman has said that homosexuality is damage in the mind. The former Qatar international told German broadcaster ZDF that LGBTQ plus people attending the tournament should accept our rules. There is concern about how LGBTQ plus people are treated in Qatar, where same-sex relationships and promotion of same-sex relationships are criminalised, with punishments ranging from fines to death sentences. Blatter says he voted for the United States and blames the UEFA president, Michel Platini, for swinging the vote in Qatar's favour. He said it was a bad choice and I was responsible for that as president at the time. Thanks to our 4 votes of Platini and his UEFA team, the World Cup went to Qatar rather than the United States. It's the truth. It's taking accountability.
All right.
There we have it. Our second sports headline for the day. I don't know who cares if anybody's watching. Gillingham knock out Brentford on penalties. Crying shame. First giant killing. League 2 Gillingham knocked out Premier League side Brentford out of the Carabao Cup 6-5 on penalties following a 1-1 draw in West London. Danish international Mikkel Damsgaard missed a crucial spot kick in sudden death just one day after being called up to Denmark's World Cup squad after both sides had a 100% record in the shootout. Earlier in the match, which was delayed by 20 minutes after the League 2 side got stuck in traffic and had to walk the final 10 minutes of their journey, Brentford's Ivan Toney scored his 9th goal of the season after just 3 minutes. But Gillingham equalised with their first shot on goal in the 75th minute through substitute Michael Mandron to take the game to penalties. The result sees Gillingham ranked 77 places below the Premier League club, advance into the last 16 ahead of this Thursday's draw live on Sky Sports after Manchester United's tie at home to Villa. When's that game? Tonight?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, you know.
Should be. When were them games? Last night?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be.
You asking me when Man United's playing?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why? You're a sports fan, ain't you?
I'm not a Man United fan though.
Okay.
I think he just felt that you would have been keeping abreast with what
He
your team was
knows.
doing.
He knows.
I know, I'm just trying to poke a bit more.
He's uneducated because I know all the
No, uneducated.
Yeah, I know all the fixtures. Don't worry about me. And lastly, but clearly not leastly, Bournemouth beat Everton 4-1. Everton are going through it right about now, innit? Did they? What were their last few results? Have they lost? Is that 3 on the spin they've lost? All comps? Or am I going crazy?
In the Prem, no, they've been doing around the Prem.
Didn't they lose their last game in the Prem? They just lost to
Let me check.
Palace, was it?
Let me double check.
Sorry, I digress. Anyway, let's go. Bournemouth beat Everton 4-1. Bournemouth won for the first time in 6 games as they convincingly beat Everton 4-1 at the Vitality Stadium to reach the Carabao Cup 4th round. Goals from Jamal Lowe and Junior Stanislas gave Bournemouth a 2-0 lead on the South Coast before Everton substitute Damari Gray half the deficit to give Frank Lampard's side a lifeline. But 2 quick-fire strikes from Cherry substitute Emiliano Marcondes and Jason Anthony made sure it was Gary O'Neill's team who will progress to the last 16. Bournemouth will find out who they will face in the next round on Thursday.
You're right, you know. Their last 7 games ain't been great still.
Everton?
Yeah, they lost 2-1 to United.
Yeah.
Then they lost 2-0 to Everton. Yeah. Then they lost 1-0 to Newcastle. Sorry, they lost 2-0 to Spurs, sorry.
Okay, there you go.
They lost 1-0 to Newcastle. Then they beat Palace 3-0. Then they drew with Fulham 0-0. Then they lost to Leicester 2-0. Then they lost to Bournemouth 4-1.
Yeah, there you go. See, the draws 3, lost 3 of the last 4 or something like that, and a draw. Yeah, I told you it's not been too good at all. Told you I know stuff about football, Brett. Anyway,
What a day, man.
let's get into our last segment, Done Out Ere.
Oh, Mugs.
I was just telling anybody who's not reading the chat. You know what I'm trying to say? You've got to stay focused, man. You've got to concentrate. Wait there. I ain't seen my Oh my God, why am I in a vest?
Oh, you just see that? wait, you can't
said,
remember
why are you in a
filming
vest?
that?
Huh?
You can't remember filming that?
No, I do remember when it came up. I was like,
You know how you said yesterday how Esther, he just learned things in real time and
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I love it though.
Yeah,
It's one of my favourite versions of Mugs.
Hilarious.
It's
That's why you
dope.
should never get drawn in to any argument with him because
Yeah.
tomorrow he's not even in the same place.
yeah, I don't, you know.
30 minutes after the argument. I bet. I don't even know what we talked about earlier. I love that though. I want to live like that, where I just let things go.
That's typical me, that meme. Have you seen that meme of it's Kano and Bashi from Top Boy?
Yeah.
And he goes, She's still fucking going on about that shit.
No, that is really you.
That's
that is
me.
really you. I love that.
10 minutes later, you try to bring up an argument. You still going on about that shit. I don't give a shit about that.
I need to live like that.
Who's
I
that
love
fish
that.
on Nemo?
Dory.
Yeah.
The one who just forgets all the time. Man said the best is wild. Listen, you don't go away, man. It's a good look.
I can't lie to you, yeah. 4 minutes. Yeah.
It's not 4 minutes.
It is,
I mean,
it definitely
that's the
is.
deadline
Not to 20.
to wrap this up.
I thought it was half past, huh?
Yeah, we've
Not
got
today.
14.
Not today.
Okay, cool. We've got 4 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Which is cool, yeah, because which is cool because I haven't even had a chance to I never even had a chance to go ahead and check the deck to see what we was gonna do for Done Ere.
I wonder why.
Because we were so engaged in riveting conversation.
Because you were fighting fights you shouldn't
Let's
have
talk about
been
Kyrie to wrap it up then.
No.
No.
I don't
You
want
rather
to.
eat rocks than Kyrie. Done Ere. What?
I ain't giving Kyrie. I would never give Kyrie a Done Ere.
You have 7 points here though.
Huh?
Yeah, but he didn't, because he was fighting the good fight for his black brother. He didn't spend time
Oh, to
doing what he was
research.
meant to be doing.
Yeah, because I have to do my.
Give it to
I
Sir
like to do my due
Gavin.
diligence. I am gonna give it to Gavin though. See, this is why we're here.
Yeah, we're here. We
Me and
see
you.
each other.
I'm going to give it to Gavin Williamson, and not just Gavin Williamson, Rishi Sunak, and just the whole Conservative, just the whole government, the cabinet. Yeah, they've just been a bit shit. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That they've just been a bit shit. And from he came into government, yeah, from he steps into government, he came out, spoke well, made all these promises about how we're going to move forward with integrity. That was one of the words he used. Definitely, integrity was one of the words he used. There's other poignant words that I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment, which is annoying me because they would have been good for effect here. But integrity. Let's go with integrity. So he said he's going to come with a new government. You get me? Apologize for the mistakes that was made before, and said we're going to move forward with integrity and all of these things. Yeah, that's what he said in the morning. And by the evening, he put Cruella in his cabinet. You get me? He made her the Home Secretary. Where's the integrity in that? This girl's doing espionage. You know what I'm trying to say? That this girl's doing illegal things. She had to admit to them. She resigned herself. You get me? Wasn't good enough for the last government, even though she was only there a few days. And then you bring her back. To me, this is crazy. But then again, it's not crazy. It's because he don't need the opposition. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he needs friends, he needs supports. He doesn't want to go through getting challenged and stuff like that. So he's putting, it's a boys' club thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he's putting his people around him. So that's why he done it. Yeah. But even I was thinking, nah, Donny's crazy to do this because it's just gonna get thrown in your face all the time, constantly. Then PM questions. She's like, it's just they're gonna be pushing for it. Anything she does wrong, it's gonna be all up in your grill. And then this guy's gone and done the same thing again with Gavin. What job did he give Gavin this time? Secretary of Defence?
No, he used to be Secretary.
He used to be Secretary of Defence.
Yeah.
Is that when was when he was leaking his messages and thing?
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? These men are just corrupt. You get what I'm trying to say? Like these men are just corrupt. My man's got, and they knew about it. They told him, look, he's got previous, he's got pending stuff. Don't do this. My man still went and still done it. But you know what it is? It's because Gavin used to be chief whip. You get what I'm trying to say? Gavin knows all the skeletons. Trust me. He knows all the skeletons. He knows all the sordid secrets. And he's wielding his power. You get me?
Quit then.
It was a bad choice. My man messed up education. You know he messed up education. He was the one who messed up all them kids' grades from lockdown.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's the one when they done that algorithm where they scrapped the test and they done the algorithm and messed up loads of people's futures. This is all Gavin Williamson. This is your boy.
Your boy, you know.
This is your boy Gav. You know what I'm trying to say? That scandal after scandal, and then you're bringing him into the government. And again, with like the Coroner thing, I was looking at it, thinking, this ain't gonna last. Like, this ain't gonna last. Like, why is he bothering? And then now, look, lo and behold, and I was gonna give him Done Ere yesterday, and I wish I'd done it for timing. But then again, Gymshark got True Geordie out of it anyway, so they watched the Done Ere too.
They definitely did.
But yeah, I wanted to give it to him yesterday because I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it was only a matter of time. There's just too much backlash. too much backlash going on in these streets. You get me? I'm trying to say their constituents weren't happy about this one because my man's a Wally. You get me? He's a plonker, so he's out of there. I can't wait to see who else comes out of there. The whole government's just a joke. Did you manage to watch Rishi yesterday at COP27?
No, I didn't see it. You know.
Oh no, I didn't see that either. I didn't watch it, but that's just because the whole U-turn. Like he said he wasn't going. He tried to play it down. I think he might even refer to it as just a group of people meeting up to drink tea or something like this. Like he just tries to play it down, and then with all the stuff that's going on with climate change, he had to U-turn and he's gonna go there. He's gonna do a speech. So for you to play it down like that and then go there and do a speech, like anything you say is just gonna be bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So no one wants to listen to that crap. So that's why I didn't go on. That's why I didn't watch it. But yeah, man, all of them, man, Conservatives, man, it's a poor start, man. I think he's helping the economy a little bit because things are coming down a little piece. But there's just still no hope for this government, man. It's bad.
Damn shame.
So the Conservative Party, Gavin Williams, Rishi, and Coroner and all them, these are done it. I'm guessing it's not going to be the last time
No.
these are here.
They're going to be in the Hall of Fame. Don't I? Hall of Fame. Most received.
They probably are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I might rescind some of my done at Air soon as well. I've been telling you now, yeah. I'm a change man. You are gonna hate me for this.
It's the protesters, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been doing a bit. I've been praying while I go on, and I've just been. I think they might have had the right idea. I'm telling you.
Do it tomorrow.
We can look into it because I'm telling you no, because conversations are happening and they're spreading more awareness. Yeah, like one of the I can't remember what his role is. But he's been charged with sorting all that stuff out with government. I think he might have spoke at the COP27 thing. He's the head of, some kind of global thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and he's been talking about it, giving talks about all the climate control stuff, climate change stuff, whatever. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but I think it's like one of the phrases he said was like, humanity have to like cooperate or like perish. Basically, this is the information that's coming out from the top. They're saying this is serious stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? Like cooperate or perish. You know what I'm trying to say? This is the top man. He said this stuff in public. You get me? But it's not even like. It's not making no waves, if that makes sense. Like, no one's not even aware of this. No one don't even know this man exists. Like, no one cares. You know what I'm trying to say? But what they are aware of are these idiots splashing paint in places and locking off the M25 and that. You know what I'm trying to say? And this is the same cry that they're making. So even though I'm not really for it here because I don't want to be inconvenienced, and if I see them on my journey, I'm gonna dash piss on them. What they're trying to bring to the forefront, like their fight is a fight for humanity. It's a good fight. They're trying something. They're trying to do something proper. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not turning against you lot. Like I'm still with you. You get me? And like I said, still dash piss on them if you catch them. But they got the right idea. They got the right idea, and it's slowly working. If it's converting me, something's happening.
Need to find
Yusuf is looking to be like, brother, shut up.
So I think, how did it convert you? Is it because you're listening more to LBC where you're having people coming on and breaking down the conversation to you in a place in which you're consuming this information? Maybe
that I didn't. It wasn't the LBC one where it was a news report, but. I think it is just because I'm doing this more, so I'm more in tune with what's going on with the news, with the politics, and keep hearing it. And it is just the bombardment, like I'm saying, like they've always been there, but recently, they've been they're upping their attacks, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? That so it was the road, then the Aston Martin, then the artist thing. Like they've been going ham, and they're doing so much that it's been hair to me. You know what I'm trying to say? So I've been consuming it. So I just listened for a second.
That's nice.
Instead of cussing them.
That's nice.
And now I'm saying, you know what? Like I said, I think they know something we don't know. This threat might be more imminent than we think. So it was just worth looking into. I don't know how it's going to help because I don't recycle. I drive a car. I fly. And I don't intend to change any of those things anytime soon.
So I mean, there are certain nations that are really leading the pollute the world agenda. I don't think the UK is the biggest, but
to pollute the world? No, the UK are starting the conversation to help the world. UK are trying to do net zero on that. UK.
What I'm saying is that you're asking. I don't know what it is I can do to basically help. Right?
Oh, okay.
And I don't think the major abuser of this particular issue is the UK. But if everybody's like talking about it, especially Western governments, they're now going to start forcing changes. Hence the conversation now you keep calling it GOC 22.
COP, I said.
Okay.
Why would I say
No,
GOC?
you know he ain't calling it GOC.
I don't know. But
Your man had a gutter. Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. That's good.
Well, anyway, let's do better, man, for our environment, man. There's holes in the ozone layer, apparently. So
It's killing me because this is the done segment and you're preaching to us.
The thing is, he's just finding out. He's not realizing every single summer it's hotter. He's not realizing it.
Instead, he's taking breaks from filming to catch the sun.
For longer.
No, but I like the sun. I'm a summer baby. But anyway.
And we're equipped to survive in the sun.
Well, there we go.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Conservatives, you're done at here, man. Let's get into this outro.
Okay.
this guy.
Should I just
Don't look healthy though, man.
No. Just fine.
Oh dear.
Let's pretend we've just had the music.
Okay, yeah. Let me just say, do you know what, guys? We appreciate you for always tuning into the show. We appreciate the live crew. You guys are always there and giving comments, talkative and everything. We appreciate the engagement. It's really, really helpful. Before you come out of the video, though, do like the video and you can share it as well in your group chats and all that great stuff. The video stays up. Follow us on our social media platforms. Our dailies are back, so you get to see Brent's. I mean, you don't get to see. I mean, you hear Brent's shady side, but you get to see in writing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So follow us on our social media platforms the day after TNB to catch the highlights of the show. Like, comment, share the videos, do all that great stuff. Keep engaging with us. We keep growing. We know you guys appreciate and we appreciate you as well. Follow our list. No, what's it called? The number you need to call for voice notes and text asking for a Francis, what would you do, and all that great stuff. It's 075 6484 1073. You can also join the community, community.thenewblack.com. That is where I first launched my first attack on E-Man yesterday morning even. So join the community. And if you'd like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, email the team the day after at thenewblack.com. Have a great Wednesday. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace. We're with you, Kyrie.
He's we, bro. We is French.
We're over here, man. We stand with...